From West Virginia to Pennsylvania to Cox's Bazar to Custom Ave to Cape Town, South Africa, wherever you're watching around the world, this is Breakfast Central on a Friday. I'm super excited. It's already weekend. I just quoted a poet, Paddle Rankin.
I'm excited. It's already weekend. I am excited too. Friday is actually my favorite day of the week for obvious reasons. But thank you for joining us today on Breakfast Central for the next 3 hours. We'll be bringing you the latest in politics and governance around the country. We of course want to also get your feedback, and we'll be looking to also explore what happened yesterday at the Benue Town Hall put together by News Central, where stakeholders were invited. Very heartbreaking stories were shared, and so many interesting updates. But remember that you can go on YouTube. We're streaming live on YouTube at News Central TV. And drop your comments in the comment section.
It was a very packed hall. And you asked Johansson, I think, I don't know.
Can we go on white shirt? What's going on?
Where is Joe?
Producer. Oh, wow. Thank you. Oh, wow. We are starting the show with, wow, I wish you could skip now.
No, a certain politician, a very famous politician. Joe, are you running for guys? Are you running for office?
We need to serve the camera. We want to serve the camera guys. Cameraman.
Joe, I didn't know you to be so modest.
Are you
running for office?
Must I run for office to serve my people?
You are serving us breakfast.
You wonder where I got this inspiration from. Look at the screen.
Wow.
Wow.
That's so
humbling.
Wow.
So down to earth.
Wow.
This is what you call even the mixture the earth.
Oh. Look at.
Wow.
So you mean someone will do this and come on.
A former governor.
A former governor.
An aspiring president.
Aspiring presidential president.
I don't want to talk because I want to believe that there has to be a story behind this thing.
I'll believe it, there's no story.
Because
the story, a picture paints 1,000 words, a video paints 1 million words. Look at it.
There's no how to explain this thing.
Look at this.
Can I beg Nigerian politicians?
Joe, thanks for the biscuit, by the way.
Thank you for the biscuit.
Very tasty.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I wish you were here with us, I would like to serve you. Yes. See, let me serve you.
I wish that Nigerian politicians, I mean, there are many good things that His Excellency Peter Obi has done. Visiting Philomena School, visiting the Benue State, a number of these states where they're dealing with insecurity. He's done so many commendable things, and you can't take that away from him. But you see that one of serving food, it's giving a little bit of
desperation vibes.
I mean, that's it.
Desperation vibes.
And maybe taking the people for... I mean, he's not in the office,
maybe
so
it was a challenge.
I can't say. No.
I'm trying to play devil's advocate.
He served
maybe
rice.
It was a challenge.
He served amala.
That is looking like pepper soup. I don't know.
Swallow.
Wow, so it wasn't just one round.
So maybe the MC, wait. Maybe the MC in the party
as
said,
we are watching, is
I
getting
double
worse.
dare you, sir. I dare you to serve us like you will serve us if you became president. Maybe it was a dare. But that on his own, of his own volition, that he carried tray to be serving food. I wish that Nigerian politicians...
I understand. These things happen. I mean, people like the Chief of Army Staff doing Nigerian Army Christmas party, and it goes to a forward operation base. There will be a buffet table. He stands beside it. He stands there, and the troops line up. He serves them from the buffet stand. Even President Trump and presidents have done that. That's dignifying. It's to boost troop morale. And we've seen that happen. But to now turn to a physical, to a server and move from point A to point B in the name of politics, because at the end of the day, it's politics, it's perception management. He wants people to see him as a servant leader. And he's now taking it literally.
Virtue signaling.
Guys, remember that
this Joe is just using the excuse of this thing to eat biscuit on
Friday morning.
It doesn't fly first class.
So the truth is, honestly, I'm a bit short of words.
I think people should just go and watch that Edo State movie, Peter Obi.
I'll go and watch it.
No, because of what I just saw now.
Yes, you watch it.
I'll watch it this weekend.
Aside, let me also mention them. We are doing party this weekend. Okay, there's election. You can't move.
You can't move until 3 p.m. After
Next
3 p.m.,
week.
we can do party on Saturday.
I won't be shocked if we see PO catering services. It may happen.
So, and to be fair, it's not just PO.
What has been the reaction?
All Nigerian politicians.
the reaction.
All Nigerian politicians
can we
would like
take-
to do things like this.
Yeah, I remember
let's beg
Governor
them.
Sanwo-Olu braiding hair.
Let's beg them.
You know, election season.
Can we beg you?
Either eating corn on the side of the road. Please, Nigerian,
As
this
we are counting
is
down to
2025.
2027,
Let's
we
talk
don't
about
want
this,
to
please.
see
They
all
know
those things.
better.
We know better. Now, what
They
we
can
want
see
to see
through
is
you.
a clear cut-out plan of how you intend to take us from where we are to where we want to be, where we ought to be as a nation. No serving food, no eating with the beggars, no doing
plating
things
of
that
hair.
are out of your character. Because the truth is, it doesn't even happen when they get into office.
Yeah,
it just stops after
we know.
campaign season. It doesn't continue, so that's not really
So
who you
please,
are.
just do your job and fulfill your election
There's a
promises.
skit maker I saw
That's the
online.
basic minimum.
I'm going to share the skit maker as a handle with you guys. It's funny. Funny enough, he mimicked all of these things before what we saw, where they would lie and they put up an act. We're not saying that PO shouldn't serve people food. I mean, the obedience. I know you'll be watching this now. Some of you will start shouting.
Oh, it took us a lot
no,
of.
PO is humble. Calm down. Relax. We're not saying you shouldn't serve food, but there are some things that just look at the perception.
I see.
Look
I
at
saw the comment section.
The
of that video.
image.
Somebody said, this is my idol. I mean, now my president. So even this one, I don't feel.
You can't defend it.
Defend them now. Says, oh, God, calm down. Now stop making it hard for us to defend you. I saw a number of comments like that. And you have to be fair, regardless of the fact that yes, you support PO. PO is your idolo. And you should, I mean, you should if he's someone you throw your
me.
support behind. But you see through me, you talk.
This one is
shocking.
breakfast central anchor. I can't do that thing. I cannot at my level.
So, and just to mention that there's nothing wrong in serving people. There's nothing wrong in serving people. The job of a waiter is a dignified job. In fact, it's part of the...
And then when you host people, imagine us coming
I
to your
serve
house.
people when
You're
they come to my house.
You're going to serve
I
us.
serve people, right?
Yes, and we will serve you.
And sometimes
Let me
when I
serve
go
the cameraman. I want to serve the
Okay,
cameraman.
please.
Our cameramen are
cameraman,
not here.
please, let me
Our
serve
cameramen
you.
are not here. They are in their
Let me serve
room
you.
because we are very...
Technology.
Technology. Oh, okay, one has come into the studio to come
You
and
heard biscuits is run inside.
Yes.
But just to you know,
I think
cap
Tunde
this up,
Raji would need
a little bit of biscuit. Just to cap things up, I would say that first of all, the job of a waiter is not, and this is, I mean, we're clearly stating that it's a dignified job. In fact, how I analyze people, I think as an unmarried person, if I go on a date with somebody and I see them treating a waiter poorly or talking to them poorly, I already know you.
Red flag.
You have a character because you should treat people with kindness and care. So, just to mention that this is not disregarding the work of a waiter. However, because these people are acting out of character, and we see it happen at every election cycle. We see, and whether you like it or not, electioning has and campaigns have already begun. So we see this happen every cycle.
If he's serving 2 years to elections, what will he do next year?
Let me
Or
share.
6 months to elections.
Listen, it's called Start Early.
That video is AI.
I thought it was AI because I didn't want to believe it.
That's my conclusion.
I did not want to believe
That's my
it.
part of the story, and I'm sticking to it. AI. Let's move on.
Oh my goodness.
That did not happen, so there's no need
But
for all
I'm
this
waiting
advice.
for, I don't know if there's been any official reactions to it from opposition parties.
Wait,
not individuals.
When we finish this show, you know, he just gave somebody food, and you know who the person is, right? You should know them now. I mean, one of them is.
I said this thing is AI.
It's giving them ammunition.
It's AI.
Hey.
Because AI has gotten so realistic that they can make you do something you typically not do. So that video is AI.
Did different rounds.
I say it's AI. AI.
It's okay, thank you, it's okay. I've served my people.
Thank you very much for
serving.
The lessons in humility to learn
Served by
from it.
people.
Not everybody would agree with us that he's taking it too far. Humble. Servant leader.
So that's the thing fit you look like Bishop.
Make me.
Anyway, enough of the, it's not our fault. We came to do the show, but we couldn't help but analyze what we saw. Let's first of all say congratulations to the News Central team who were on their way to Benue, and upon arriving in Benue, before the you know, the mega town hall, which is well attended, and we could say had a major impact yesterday and will continue to do so. There were rumors circulating that it will not hold. Now, surprisingly, the rumors actually we hear came from some quarters of the government house. But then again, we're happy that the team was able to put this up. When Bernard joined us yesterday, Bernard had spoken about it, saying that people should douse the rumor that it's holding, and it was fantastic. We did see some people put this up. So New Central is shutting a town hall meeting on the Benue massacre, and the Benue State government is working overtime to stop them from doing it, going as far as threatening anyone who works with them on it. Who did this to us? Where are these unfortunate people from? So many of these. But recall that Bernard joined us yesterday and said, forget about those rumors. These things, it's not true, it's happening, and it happened yesterday. But you can see footage on the screen. Let's just pause a little so we get to listen to some of them, and we'll be right back to continue the conversation.
And I live in IDP, Aniken. I was born in Yilamo, and I was displaced by Fulani's crisis in 2014. And so I came to live in Aniken. So I was looking for a place to farm, and because I couldn't get, I had to relocate and move to Takum.
By Chanchangi Ward.
By Chanchangi Ward.
So we're having a dialogue with the Operation White Stroke, and we told them that these headers coming from that side, they are with arms, and they said it's a lie. A civil defense officer just shot his shot on air.
My name is Jerry. I am from Yelewata.
Yeah. Tumbuile. Wow.
In the night, around 9 p.m. It was going to rain. It started raining and they ran into the room. Around 10 p.m. the Fulanis entered. They started shooting. They didn't shoot for too long, then they came to our door. They struck down the door. They entered and started cutting my children with machetes. They killed my children and my mother. They cut them with machetes.
Harrowing accounts yesterday.
Nigeria.
Terrible. But I mean, first and foremost, credit goes to the management and staff of News Central for putting this up against all odds, so Nigerians in the world can hear firsthand the testimonies of those who are victims of this senseless attacks.
Because before now, we've always just been hearing, oh, how many number of people died, the massacres, maybe one report here, one.
And names to it.
Now we have personalized it. I would say that this is the first time I'm seeing and hearing actual cases. The most we hear would be maybe when they do a report. It felt like there was a subtle covering. I don't know if I would call it a subtle covering up of what was happening to not let people know it's as bad as it actually is. Information management. I would call it a form of information management.
It was just numbers.
But we can't be doing information management in this day and age. These are lives of Nigerians. And these people are not more Nigerian than you and I that are here. They're as Nigerian as we are. And they deserve to be able to go to bed, wake up, and just have a guarantee of safety and security. Those stories are harrowing. I don't want to ever imagine that happening to, anyone. But it's unfortunate that that has happened. And I don't even know how to feel about it.
Very sad situation. But in case you missed out on the New Central Town Hall, which happened yesterday, you could go online and find these videos and continue to ensure that you get all the details of what went down yesterday. I mean, we were following very closely. We just brought you a snippet of some of the stories right there, and I can tell you there are many more. But it's good for you to get that information and understand what it simply means. Well, while News Central was there in Benue State handing the town hall, Cross River also came into the news. And on our wake-up conversation this morning, there is a circular that shows that the Cross River State government has appointed special advisors for new media management. Now, not just special advisors, they've also gone as far as ensuring that there are advisors and people who would manage Instagram, Facebook, X.
Where individual...
Yes, let's call it.
Explain.
So look at it.
Let's read it for you. Let's read it to you, rather. In line with his commitment to repositioning the media architecture of the administration under the People First governance agenda, His Excellency Senator Prince Bassey Edet Otu, Governor of Cross River State, has graciously approved the elevation of the following officers. Elevation. Emmanuel Day, elevated from Special Assistant to Special Advisor to the Governor on Electronic Media. Ekeng Andre Inyang, elevated from Special Assistant to Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on New Media. Of course, you have Nathaniel Otaba, Communication, Daniel Williams, for Photography, Gosulekbe, elevated Assistant Special Assistant Cinematography. And then may appear to appointment of individuals into key strategic media roles to enhance the administration's digital communication. You have Okokon E. Bassey, Special Assistant to the Governor on Facebook management. Edward, you could go back. Okay, all right. Bassey Taitim, Special Assistant to the Governor on X management. Emmanuel Inam, Special Assistant to the Governor on Content Creation. And you also have James Eku, Special Assistant to the Governor on X. Not forgetting to Joseph Okache, Special Assistant to the Governor on Social Media Advocacy. And then you have New Media. Then look at this number 9. Look at number 9, guys. Madeline Philomena Odu, Special Assistant to the Governor on Media Research and TikTok. TikTok.
That means I have future in this social media because I really do like social media. I'm starting to
Special
explore.
Assistant on Audiovisual Generation, Special Assistant.
How many
to
do
the
you
Governor
count?
on
15.
Media Technica.
Media,
true.
technical.
Then audiovisual generation. Then content development, electronic
Content
media.
editing
Then
and-
content editing and production. And finally, personal assistant to the governor on media documentation.
Please take note, they are all special assistant or advisor. So, Benga, remember what we said some days ago? They all have their cards. And they're all going to carry their shoulders and say, oh yeah, I'm a special advisor, I'm an SA. What do you do? I'm an SA to the governor on TikTok. So, guys, Olive, special assistant. Okay, this is what you tell the governor.
Okay, if you're the assistant on TikTok,
you
so
say,
Mr. Governor,
do
you have
like
to
this.
join
I have to be
this
telling,
trend.
so Mr. Governor, right now there's a new song that is trending, you know, and you say, hey, right, so you need to get close to the Gen Zs, Mr. Governor.
What's
so
the
you have
current
to do all those Amapiano dance challenges.
Or you have to serve.
You know,
Peter Obi
there's
challenge.
There's one they do like this. So the governor would say, okay, so wait. Oh God.
Don't you see Governor Babajide Olusola
let's understand this thing.
doing TikTok trend?
But Governor, someone who does not have special advisor on TikTok.
No, he's a Jassy governor. He's a governor that you understand.
You know,
he's
there's
very
another way to
fun
look at
and
this
connected
thing.
with everybody.
Nigerians always complain about unemployment level, and the governor just created employment for all these people. So, I mean, come on. What are we talking about?
15 people, 15.
First of
Yeah,
all,
it's jobs for the boys.
I checked the governor's page on X. I didn't see this. This is someone to assume that somebody is being mischievous.
Okay.
That is, I want to assume that that's someone being mischievous because, you know, they're trying to create something for people to talk about, and that's not verified. So this is a call to Cross River State government to please confirm if that appointment is legit or if it's just, you know, somebody being mischievous on social media. Now, it says here that it is by the government of Cross River State, Nigeria, and it's the Office of the Chief Press Secretary and the Special Advisor Media and Publicity to the Governor's Office, Calabar, Cross River State. So
you already have
Senator Prince Bassey Otu, please would like you, your team, your spokespersons to reply and let us know if this is real. That being said, if this is real,
it is real.
In the words of Popo and Aki and Popo, I don't know which of them said, this is nothing but a mad joke because I understand the idea of having a head of media, and it is the responsibility of the head of media to put together a media team. To say, okay, so we're going to have a media team for the governor. You are going to handle all the governor's social media accounts. You will handle the creating of the content, or the cinematographer. Well, all these unnecessary...
Well, Facebook and Instagram are the same management. But, I mean, kudos to the governor. At least one thing they didn't add is special assistant for WhatsApp.
Snapchat.
Baby, you WhatsApp. I didn't see you for WhatsApp.
Or they didn't do Snapchat.
I didn't use
Governor,
Snapchat.
they do Governor's streak now. Governor has 75,000 streaks.
Dude,
So-
you have to speak.
Anyway.
Or forever hold your peace.
As I was saying, I just think that as...
So,
Wait,
hold on.
Don't
So
you
the
think
governor...
that SUG person had like how many SAs?
No, that's River State.
Are you sure?
Yes, he
That
appointed
student.
100 and... Yes.
Okay, I can't remember which one now.
What? Binga, so the governor of Cross River State, please don't forget to appoint someone for CapCut.
Yes. No, there's editing. There's a special advisor on
separate.
editing.
Then the editing will now have
specific.
no. So there'll be a special
Adobe
advisor
on
to the
Adobe
special advisor
Premiere.
on editing. Do you get?
Special advisor on Adobe Premiere Pro. Special advisor on CapCut.
What else?
Special.
Yeah, well, you know, people are sleeping on
You should add
Snapchat.
more.
Special advisor on Snapchat, because you want to connect to the young people. A number of them are on Snapchat having long streaks. So you have to be able to, I mean, I don't even understand how that streak thing works. But you have to be able to connect to the younger generation, and the way that you do that is having a special advisor on Snapchat. Do you understand? Then there's Threads as well. And LinkedIn. They're not taking things seriously. Those special advisors
The professional
ones.
And that's how they can reach out to foreign investors and
to bring more foreign investment into the States.
Business opportunities.
Don't forget that this
Cross River
special
State.
advisor he has, they would have their own cars, if possible. They will also have another special advisor again. You know, there's duplicity of roles. Now, these are taxpayers' money. Why don't you just have one agency, like every other person does?
Or even if you don't want to have agency.
Even in America,
media management team.
That's what I'm saying.
They will handle and hire people.
Exactly. You know the funny thing, the letter is even coming from the chief press secretary, where you also have the person in charge of the media. So it's like you have somebody in charge of your media who has now special advisor on media and publicity to the governor, is now saying, okay, I know, because this is all your role. This is your job. Let's break down the job description. This is your job. All you need to do is, in your office, you can decide to employ
people
a
don't
set
need
of
to
people.
know.
But don't, why are you giving them special advisor to
why
the
are they
governor
special?
on Instagram?
And this is really embarrassing.
Okay,
I like to believe it's true.
I want to see the job description
Again,
of the special advisor.
I want to believe that this Linus
Instagram.
Obogo is lying. That is, you know, it's a lie. That is
No,
telling
it's
that
not
this
true.
is that this is just somebody being
I think he should come out
being
and...
mischievous. That's just, and I'm going to leave it at that. That
Let's
somebody is
leave it at
just being mischievous, and that's a lie. But now let's move to our final story, and I think that this story is a very heartbreaking one. I need to call her. Her name is why I've just had to look here. The name of the person here is Ajana Isabella. She's a law student who reportedly died because, unfortunately, she was not given access to her medication. Now, the story is that, or the story we're seeing or hearing, is that they had to pay the sum of 120,000 naira, and the management of the hostel wouldn't grant them access to the hostel. Her medication, her insulin medication, was inside the hostel, and she was being denied a spare key to get in and get her things. As a result, there was an emergency, her health deteriorated, and by the time they rushed her to the hospital, she was pronounced dead. They were all apparently supposed to pay 40,000 naira each. Madam Bright is the person who is the hostel manager here, the hostel mistress, and according to multiple student accounts, she refused to release the key unless the roommates paid 120,000 naira, that's 40,000 naira each, so there's 3 of them. Despite explaining the urgency of her health condition and their inability to raise the money immediately, their pleas were ignored. And of course, when her condition worsened, they rushed her to the hospital. She was confirmed dead. This has sparked a lot of outrage. And university management has confirmed that an investigation is ongoing. Meanwhile,
which investigation?
The hotel mistress, or hostel mistress, I'll call her hotel mistress, Madam Bright, her whereabouts are nowhere.
Madam
no one
Bright.
knows where she is.
Madam Bright.
Young life. This is a life in its prime. a candle that has been snuffed out, a young girl, a daughter, a friend, a student in Nigerian life that has just been snuffed out due to negligence, nonchalance, in the most despicable way. This death could have been avoided. I don't care how important it was for you to get the 120,000 naira. There's no way they did not tell her that there was medication inside the hostel that she needed to access. And even if you don't want to, at the very least, the least you can be is a human being that has empathy, that says, okay, I will not grant you access, but let's go in and get your medication.
Exactly.
That's the very least you could have done. And unfortunately, this has resulted in her death. I do hope that the full extent of the law, catches up with her. But the truth is, there's no full extent of the law that will catch up with the persons who were negligent here that would ever be enough, because this life is gone. It can't bring her back, it can't console her family, it can't console her friends.
People, Nigerians, we need to do better generally. We often point fingers at politicians and think politicians are the only people
inherently wicked
that are wicked or not, that don't have a human heart. You go to a local government, you talk to NYSC coppers that are serving here, and they will tell you tales of, sitting in the sun for long. There's this thing that, even the security personnel, civilian security guards, anybody that has this sort of position, they tend to feel, they are lord and master over everyone. Or I need
someone that is selling
it's almost an emperor-like
authority to serve small talks in the party.
Emperor-like authority.
It's not like an employment situation where you are my boss. You are serving us
temporary. I might never see you again for the rest of my life.
And then I would ask you for food and you do as if I'm the wretched of the earth, or it's just really sad. And I want to bring this back to Nigerian universities. I think there's a culture in Nigerian universities that we need to speak up against. A culture in Nigerian universities where we try to make life difficult, incredibly difficult for students. A number of them where lecturers will say to you, I had, I suffered this course. A is for God. A lecturer said to me, A is for God, B is for my wife. The best you can get in this course is a C. He said it to all of us in class. So the culture of trying to make life incredibly difficult for students is a culture we need to put to an end.
Culture of
Here in Lagos, Nigeria, there's a particular tertiary institution, their radiography department. They are trying to get internship in hospitals. They've gone to the school to say, please, give us letters to take to these places. The school says, oh, you have to confirm if the hospital will take you. So there's no way we can confirm if you don't give us letter. Okay, give us a blank letter. They say, no, go and ask them first if they will take you. Why are you making life difficult for Nigerian students?
It's one foolish individual that's making this decision.
I agree.
It's not the policy of the department or university. Why are people like this?
Benga, Olive, I think at this point, let me use this medium, since we have this medium, to propagate and announce to students. You are smart, you are ingenious, you are great. Create a website. All the tech savvy students who are very smart, create a website. Not just one, if possible, multiple. Because I've been thinking, what's the best way to end this nonsense? Create a website. Anybody that is going through all of these issues, go there and put your story there. Make it clear, if possible.
I agree with you. If you recall, recently on
let Nigerians go there daily and know that, okay, there's a challenge, and so on.
There was a notorious lecturer that was finally fired.
Yes, he was fired from LASU.
And if you read from LASU, if you read the comments,
in the rain.
for years, why do people tolerate this sort of... Look, your life doesn't end there.
All because
you should escalate and be persistent with your advocacy.
The problem with...
They don't want to rock the boat.
Exactly. The fear of them not wanting to call out bad behavior.
What's the problem?
Is because, look at the allegations of your Mama Bidiso in Delta State. There's just always this fear of vindictiveness, that the lecturers will work against
the last lecturer was evil. And it went on for years. You could see people were correlating the testimony, saying, oh, this man, very notorious. Even people that were not in the school knew about that particular lecturer. I even had my fair share
of my experience in university. And as long as I talk about this, I will always talk about it. A lecturer that had asked me to give him my contact details, I used to give him my number. Exam period came. Everybody wrote the exam. He told us, he said it jokingly in class one day, I'm going to read from first semester. I didn't take it lightly because I knew that I needed to read extra for this course. And I went to read from first semester. He set exams in second semester from first semester. But I was good because I had read.
Yeah.
I wrote the exams, results came out, people were crying, but I knew that I did a good job. Results came out and I had a D. And it did not make sense to me.
Yeah.
I was second guessing myself. And I remember one morning in my final year when I was reading, I went to a hall. I can picture the hall as I'm speaking. As I was reading in the hall, he was passing, he came and saw me and he said, come. So I went to him. He said, I'm sorry about your results. You refused to give me your number. And he said, I can make it better. Let me be your project supervisor. And every time I think about it, I feel so mad at myself that I didn't fight for myself. I feel so mad that I felt like I failed that version of myself that didn't call him out for what he did. But at the time, I was afraid. I was afraid that if he could do this to me, and he mentioned it to other lecturers, what would they do to me? They could all gang up and I wouldn't graduate.
And that's what happens.
You know,
and that's actually
every time I have the opportunity to speak, he was my intellectual property lawyer, lecturer. Every time I have an opportunity to talk about this, I will use my platform and my voice to talk about lecturers that are wicked, lecturers that try to sexually abuse students, who try to collect favors, who try to manipulate you, make you buy handouts, and wicked people that would lock you out of your hostel and then end up causing a young girl to pass.
And if you think, Madam Bright, so that we don't really miss the concept of this entire story, they should look for her.
Yeah, she has to be.
She needs to come forth
and explain herself.
And if the family of the university student is listening, watching this show, please feel free to reach us.
And students who were there, even the witnesses who want to talk to you.
Let's have that conversation.
There are roommates that were there, that they all locked them out together.
It's important we also add that these things, because some parents will be watching and say, oh, it only happens in public universities, federal universities. It does happen. You have badly behaved lecturers in private universities in Nigeria, so we need to do better.
Our heart goes out to her family. Condolences. Let's look for Madam Bright, please. Let's find out why she did it. Wickedness will take you nowhere. If you're watching this show, please fill your heart with good things. Leave
Ionizik, please continue with your thorough investigation.
And I'm sure she's a mother. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Terrible.
A terrible one at that for doing this. Anyway, that's it on our Wake Up Conversations. Let's bring to you our top stories for today here in News Central. On Breakfast Central this morning, court affirms Okpebholo as Edo State Governor. Celebration, jubilation, you can see them dancing. Senate removed Senator Natasha's committee chair. We'll be looking into all of these, especially this story too. Not forgetting to former AGF Adoke releases book on OPL 245. Well attended. We'll be going back to the drawing board. Some things you need to know. I'm sure it will shock you. So stay with us and we'll tell you more. And then the newspaper front pages as well. This is Breakfast Central. We'll be right back.
The Senate has named Aniekan Bassey, representing Akwa Ibom Northeast Senatorial District, as the new chairperson of its Committee on Diaspora and Non-Governmental Organizations. The position was previously held by Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, who led the committee before her suspension earlier in the year. Lawmakers at the Red Chamber also upheld the dismissal of a staff of the West African Examination Council, also known as WAEC, for malpractice and urged President Bola Tinubu to compensate the family of 2-year-old Ivan Omoria, who was killed during a raid by operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA. Our national correspondent brings us more details.
As plenary progressed, the Committee on Ethics, Code of Conduct and Public Petitions presented its report on the petition by one Sandra Harry, claiming to have been wrongfully dismissed by the West African Examination Council. The committee revealed that she was found guilty after its investigation but appealed that her dismissal be instead converted to compulsory retirement, which generated reactions from lawmakers.
The Senate to urge the West Africa Examination Council to commute the dismissal of Ms. Minnie Sandra Harry to retirement.
She don't really deserve dismissal. This Senate should recommend to the Attorney General that candidates like this should be punished as a deterrent.
If we go ahead to accept this recommendation, we're encouraging people to tamper with the examination scripts.
The Senate also adopted another report of its Ethics Committee, appealing to President Bola Tinubu to provide 200 million naira as compensation to the family of 2-year-old Ivan Omoria, who was killed during a raid by operatives of the NDLEA in Delta State.
We truly believe that this family needs to be protected from such agency that I believe can pay at least to ameliorate the loss.
We can't accept this in Nigeria, where we give you uniform, we pay you, and then you go and kill Nigerians that you are supposed to protect. This murderer wearing NDLA uniform should be prosecuted according to Nigerian law with regards to murder.
The monetary compensation should be routed through Mr. President, while NDLA is hereby directed to bear the full cost of the surgeries and treatment of the second child, who still has a bullet in one eye.
Just before plenary adjourned for the week, the Senate named Aniekan Bassey of Akwa Ibom Northeast Senatorial District as the new chair of its Committee on Diaspora and Non-Governmental Organizations, a position previously held by suspended Kogi lawmaker Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan.
Chairman of the Senate Committee on Diaspora and NGOs is distinguished Senator Aniekan Bassey, and it will take effect from today.
The latest moves comes amid an ongoing impasse between the Senate and Akpoti-Uduaghan, which led to her suspension, a decision recently faulted by the Federal High Court in Abuja, which directed the suspension be lifted. In Abuja for News Central, Sagir Ibrahim.
Well-rounded conversation there from Sagir Ibrahim. I don't know if we'd like to touch base on that, especially looking at the fact that the senator has been stripped off that chairmanship.
Head of the Diaspora Committee. And I'm wondering why it's just happening now, because she's been absent for quite some time.
And the absence wasn't caused by...
It would affect the work of the Senate committee, so you expect the deputy to take over. Or maybe the deputy did take over in an interim version.
So they're waiting for her to come back so they can officially fire her. Anyway, it's just giving petty and vindictive. That's what it's giving. But let's move on to our next conversation.
Anyway, let's get to our next conversation.
Women supporting women.
Yeah, that's what it is.
No, we're just being very fair.
But then again, it's also a key point, like she mentioned. But we'll talk more about it. Let's tell you another story very quickly. The Supreme Court of Nigeria yesterday delivered its final judgment on the 2024 Edo State governorship election, affirming Governor Monday Okpebholo as the duly elected governor of the state. Let's just give you a clip of what the celebration looked like in this video. Take a look.
Songs of victory echoed across halls of the Supreme Court as supporters of the All Progressive Congress celebrated the apex court ruling. In a unanimous decision, a 5-member panel of justices led by Justice Garba Mohammed held that the People's Democratic Party and its candidate, Aso Ighodalo, failed to prove allegations of irregularities in the governorship election. Reacting to the verdict, APC leaders from Edo State described the judgment as a victory for democracy.
Now that the case is over, we thank everybody, but most importantly, we want to go back to build our state, to unite everybody in line with what the governor believed in. We're very happy, and I thank Edo people for choosing the right person for the job. Look, the new Edo is rising. I'm here to develop.
Well, I'm sure you saw that, but then again, it's obvious that in the unanimous decision, Nigeria's apex court upheld the election of Governor Monday Okpebholo of the All Progressives Congress, dismissing the appeal filed by the People's Democratic Party and its candidate, Aso Ighodalo, for lacking merit. But then again, Olive.
The PDP, of course, alleged that there were widespread irregularities over time. They were, they talked about overvoting, non-compliance with the Electoral Act, and manipulation of results in hundreds of polling units. But the Supreme Court said not enough evidence. The court noted that the PDP failed to call relevant witnesses or properly link the evidence, especially the BVS machines, to the alleged infractions. Out of the 4,519 polling units they challenged, just 395, and even there, the evidence was described as dumped without proper context. Joining us for today's discussion is a member of the People's Democratic Party, Andrew Enatomen. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Do you lay the blame here? It would seem that the Supreme Court believes that the PDP did not put together a tight case. Where do you think that this gap came from? Would you say it's a case of nonchalance or, like a lackadaisical attitude, or not maybe doing the due diligence on the part of the PDP to further strengthen its case? Or do you maybe believe this to be a miscarriage of justice?
Well, I would say I would blame the Supreme Court. Yesterday, I put out a press statement as regards my position in the judgment. We've accepted our fate and we've moved on. But it's quite unfortunate that if you understood what transpired during the last Edo State election, you will know that it was a sad development for our hard-earned democracy. I was on this channel on Terra4 during that last election, and you know how we suffered in that election. For months we're in that election, canvassing around the 192 wards, there's 18 local governments and thousands of polling units. This is one of the most highly, one of the most highly engaging election we've ever involved in Edo State. But it's quite unfortunate that people's mandate were stolen, the people's will were stolen. If you go to Edo State right now, people are moody. Those ones you see on those things you saw on the internet, on the television yesterday, just a few of few people that are just jubilating. But the real voters on the street of Edo State, they are not happy because their mandate was clearly stolen. But it's quite unfortunate where we are. We can't blame the Supreme Court. It's the last hope of the common man. They've made their verdict known. They've pronounced their judgments. There's really nothing we can do about it. We have to accept our fate. I've got my followers, got my members. I think I have one of the biggest political movements in Edo State, and I've spoken with most of our key leaders across the 18 local government. And look, let's just keep our faith alive. We still have other victory to conquer. It's just one of those things. But one thing that stood us out is that we've raised our heads so high. We saw, and we believe that we conquered. It's unfortunate that the system we find ourselves, Nigeria system, happened to us, and that's the way it is. If the reverse was still the case, I will still be happy because I know that this is what we worked for. All through the case from the tribunal down to the from the appeal down to the tribunal down to the appeal down to the Supreme. When the court, we saw everything that happened. The court is the last hope. We went there. We did our best. We could have given up because we knew that this mandate was given to us by the people. So we needed to fulfill all our righteousness to ensure that at least we pursue the mandate to the apex course. Even while most of our followers were telling us and telling our principal that, look, Your Excellency, we felt you should not waste money for this case because we understand the Nigeria situation we are. But the governor told them that, look, the people gave me their mandates. I need to follow it up. I know what it takes. I know how much we spent in this election because we believe in the people, because we want to transform Edo State. Edo State is the heartbeat of Nigeria, but look at where we are today. We're not even beating, the heart is not even beating anymore. The people are sad, security is top-notch, hunger in the land. There's nothing going on in the state, a state that we took time to build. I remember I was in Obasanjo's cabinet, and I knew the kind of intellectual strength we put in that government and made Edo State one of the best administrations during Obasanjo's time. But look at what happened in the last few months that the mandate was stolen from us. We've gone back to an archaic kind of governance, where we're using 18th century weapons to fight 21st century war. So it's a sad development for us in the PDP, but there's nothing we can do because the court have made their pronouncement and we have to live by it in the next 4 years and prepare for that subsequent by-election. What is the interior election by the corner and the House of Rep election by the corner? It's just unfortunate that the will of the people doesn't count again. And the sad thing is that it's making people lose faith in the system. That's the sad thing. PDP did their diligence. We brought the best candidate. This is the best candidate that ever happened in the history of Nigeria politics. Aso Ighodalo is a refined gentleman that came into the political space that being frustrated at political space because he never believed that the system can be this corrupt and it will be accepted the way it is. It's sad, very, very sad, but it's what it is. To bring God and pronounce their judgment, we have to live by it and move with it. But with the precedent that have been set, it shows that when you want to go into Nigeria election, forget about the people's vote. Just prepare your money and you will find your way.
A very sad reflection of the state of things in the country, Mr. Anantoman. Now, a lot of observers have said, the Nigerian judiciary is almost becoming the electoral commission, that the duty of INEC, its constitutional duty and responsibility is to conduct and announce the winners of elections. And we've seen a flurry of litigations year on year, and it seems to be getting more after every electoral cycle. In your opinion, what needs to be done to restore confidence in our elections so people don't have to, you know, go to the courts and inundate them with electoral cases? Where do you think the fault lines are?
Yeah, I think where the fault lies is our institutions are weakening. If you look at during Jonathan's time, this what Jonathan was trying to do. President Jonathan did everything possible to ensure that our institutions are strengthened, because if the institutions are weakening, of course, it's going to affect every other thing we're doing in this country. That's the more reason why we do everything possible, even within the PDP, that we believe in institutional democracy. But right now, if you are contesting for election in Nigeria, if you don't have money to buy INEC, you should keep money aside for the judiciary. So what the electorate does, what the electoral empire does now is you do everything possible to ensure that you buy the election from the head.
I mean, these are very, very serious allegations against the electoral umpire, an institution like INEC. Do you have any evidence? Do you have any evidence to prove your allegations?
The INEC institution is very weak. It's very obvious. It's very obvious that the INEC institution is very weak. As it stands right now, if you are credible, you cannot win election in Nigeria with credibility. So it's not an allegation. If you are credible in Nigeria, you cannot win election. During the Edo State election, we wrote a series of petitions to INEC as regard even changing the INEC electoral commissioner in Edo State. We've written a series of petitions again to the INEC as a result most of the corrupt personnel that the INEC have, but nothing is being done about it. It's not even about Edo matter, it's about the situation, it's about all the state. This precedent keep reoccurring. INEC is doing nothing about it. The people are losing faith in the institution called INEC. They are not even independent because INEC is practically answerable to the government in power. That is exactly what is happening. Let's not paint it. If the INEC allow right things to be done, I'm assuring you Nigeria will be better than where it is today. Because it's right now it's going to be is the highest bidder that eventually emerges in every electoral cycle. We're not being fair to the system, we're not being fair to the people. We practically force people to come outside to come and vote. And even when they come to vote, their vote is not being counted. I remember Obaseki election, when we did Obaseki election, it took the grace of God because they were not able to win that election because it was like a protest vote against Oshomole then. But this time around was not a protest vote because we felt we brought out the most credible, the best candidate in the country that this country ever have. You know, to our own cycle, we that are the inner cycle of our principle, we just felt that this election even came to ridicule the personality of Aswe, because Aswe is not even a governorship product. Aswe is a presidential material. But unfortunately, we felt, okay, we can't have this caliber of person in Edo State, and you expect us to not maximize the opportunity of bringing him to liberate the state. Now, bringing him to liberate the state, look at what INEC did. Seriously, look at this. I think most of your guys were in the state. It's quite unfortunate that even when we complain series of overvoting, some places where you see a number of registered voters 1,000, you now see people that voted 10,000. You know, most of those things were not counted. Look at the Redo, what happened in the Redo. The result that was counted at the polling unit, even at the AGF, got into the State Relations Center was practically changed. Most of the results that were announced at the polling unit and at the world level, it was not what was announced at the edge, at the state population center. So there are so many things that are wrong. The INEC should be blamed in all these things because the INEC is doing strengthening where the vote of the people count, where you can trust that if you campaign with an ideology that your vote your ideology will be respected, the vote of people will count, people will believe in the system. But it's not right now. Nobody is ready to believe in the institution called INEC. I can assure you that the INEC need to be worked on. Year in, year out, billions of naira is being voted on the institution called INEC just to reform them. But nothing reform is coming out from it. It is we that are in this political cycle that are suffering it. It's sad. I would like to say we are not happy. We are heartbroken.
Mr. Natale.
Really heartbroken. This is not encouraging. This is not the kind of country we envisage. This is not the kind of institution we dream to have. I don't know the kind of country I want to live for my children. I am really, really sad. I won't lie to you. Year in, year out, we are suffering this same cycle. Look at what happened in the 2015 presidential election. The same thing. I've traveled around the whole 36 states. I know what we pass through every day by day, trying to reform this country, trying to liberate this country from the shackles of all these things you're seeing that were happening to us today. If we get the electoral system right, I can assure you the economy will be stable. Because the right people will be in the corridor of power.
Mr. Natome,
but it's so sad.
Mr. Natome, thanks for your summation. I mean, you've spoken about how flawed INEC currently seems or looks like, and how it's impacted negatively, especially on your political party not coming out victorious through the judiciary. But during the election, I do recall, because I was also live on air, where persons, different people in the state, they alleged, and not just alleging, but it was proven, where they said monies were being shared by political parties to ensure that they could gather votes. Would you say it is a sole responsibility of INEC to take the entire blame? Or would you also say that your political party and other political parties also have a role to play in the turnout of election results? Because sometimes, just like it happened in Benin, monies were being given. They were doled out to people, telling them that they should vote for their political parties. So are you just going to heap the blame on INEC alone? What about the political parties as well?
I won't blame them. You're actually correct. I think the political parties to have their own blame, have their own side of the story. But you have to understand the way the Nigerian system is. If Party A said, I'm not going to give 1 naira, Party B said, I'm going to give 1 naira. If Party C says he will give 1 naira, you see, because poverty has been weaponized in this country, the people will just see, this is an opportunity for me to collect the little share I need to collect too. Where I say blame the people, because look, if they understand that if I vote the best people at the corridor of power, they will liberate me, liberate this country, liberate my people. You will not collect money, you will not collect bribe to vote. But you won't blame them. I remember in my ward, where I voted, what I told practically the APC were sharing brand new notes, money, good money. I told me, he said, Oga, if someone had to do so, if we now go back to Abuja now, we not get 1 naira again. May I collect my own vote APC because now they shall be my share. I felt so sad. Practically told me that she has not seen 10,000 in the last 1 month. Now APC is giving her 10,000 naira to vote just to print. She will collect the money and go and make pot of soup and go home. It's not her fault, it's a level of orientation, because she'll be made to understand that, look, this is just your share of the money. But until we have a government in power that will reorientate the people and make them understand that, look, you don't need to sell your right, because if you sell your right, you will not have the confidence to hold your people you've elected into account. You understand? So it's so painful, it's so sad that you are being robbed and you are being mocked on, even while your mandate is being stolen. I have quite a number of opportunity to have worked with this APC government. They have got series of offers, even from the state governor. But I said, look, this is about the will of my conscience might not be able to stand it as it stands right now, because I knew the effort I put in that last election. I suffered, put my life on the line, and I knew we won that election. Clear. It was an issue-based election. So, we reduced money politics deliberately. But you were in the state, thank God you saw what happened. APC practically did not campaign in that state. This is not because, of course, it's already passed and we've accepted our fate. But if we want to face reality, let's review what happened. They did not campaign. You are aware of that. They were practically, so where did they not get their confidence from? Because I traveled around the 192 ward on 3 different occasions. You know what that means? 3 different occasions. We have 192 ward. We canvassed it late and bread. On several times we slept in the bush, slept in the car, times and time with that number. And APC, most of our friends in the other political party were laughing at us that you guys are just wasting time. We want to collect money into our house. We don't win this election. And they're not campaigning. They practically did not have billboard. Okay. In some of the local government, you wouldn't even see their posters. So how will that happen? Where did the magic now come from? So it's a mystery that is still yet to be unfolded. So people that collect money to vote. Most of them are already crying right now. Look at this. Edo State right now is practically the headquarters of insecurity in Nigeria because of the rate of criminality, courtesan, armed robbery, and a whole lot of others. You know, and these were the things that Obaseki fought. But look at what we're passing through within a short period of time that another government took over. The insecurity is top-notch in Edo State. Most of us that are even key players in the state right now, we can't even travel to the state conveniently, freely, without having an alternative means of security to protect us. You know, that's how sad it is. So, and people that collected money to vote, you see one funny thing about this thing, why I don't, just like what we said, why we don't blame my neck alone. People that sold their votes for just for pot of money, we are all suffering it together. Because the rain that falls will not only fall on the good, it fall on the good and the bad. Lucky Dube once said something that when the man on the street want to knock the door, he will not only knock the door of the good, he will knock the door of the good and the door of the bad. That is the implication of what these things. When insecurity want to happen, it doesn't only happen to those that are good alone. It happens to the good and to the bad. When armed robber comes to a place to rob, they will not only select some certain house, they will enter every house and rob. When courtesan is ravaging in the streets, straight bullet doesn't know who voted for APC or who voted for PDP. So we must understand this thing and begin to think deep. That's the more reason why it saddens most of our heart that have understood what morals, what values, what ethics is. We just that we don't have the privilege to really be in the corridor of power deeply, so that we can teach people what good governance is all about. But just like what they say, good people most times don't have the privilege the way bad people have it. So it's painful that we're seeing it the way it is. But the sad reality is, God has blessed most of us. We always find our way.
All right.
And that is just the truth.
Okay.
Pity for people who were left behind at the village. How will they survive? How will they bear the next?
All right, Mr. Andrew Anatoman, thank you so much. We want to thank you for sharing the outcome, especially of what happened yesterday. We do hope, like the current ruling party has said, Governor Okpebholo has expanded, or I would say, has stretched out the olive branch, calling on the PDP to feel free to join it so they can build the state. Or better still, some members in his cabinet have said that you rather wait till the next election, which is not too far off. But thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate how you also explained some of the feelings of your party members. Thanks. Away from that story, let's tell you something very interesting now, and it's got to do with the former Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Mohammed Adoke. He has made public controversy surrounding the sale of OPL 245 oil block during the administration of former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, which sparked a frenzy of controversies, including international litigation. Adoke, during the public presentation of his book, OPL 245, Inside Story of the $1.3 billion Nigerian oil block, which held in Abuja, unveiled inside details and oil dealings, which actually happened across the country. He says that the book provides clarity on the issue, bringing an end to years of investigation and speculations of the events that transpired, which led to his prosecution by subsequent government. Just take a look.
His new book, OPL 245, The Inside Story of the $1.3 billion oil block, is a recollection of events that still stir debate. These debates unfold in boardrooms and newsrooms. They echo through political cycles and around dinner tables. In his own words, he was bloodied, but unbowed.
It is important to assure you all that I did not set out to denigrate anyone, but to set the record straight and provide valuable insights into a transaction that was not only carried out in furtherance of the national interest, but also to safeguard Nigeria's economic interests as it relates to the exploitation of our hydrocarbon resources. The Chinese proverb to the effect that the faintest ink is better than the strongest memory aptly reinforced the reliability of written records over human memory.
Many of us here may recall that shortly after the administration of President Jonathan came to an end in 2015, the succeeding government launched what many people saw as a manhunt against key officers of the President Goodluck's administration. The author of this memoir, Mr. Bello Adoke, was the Attorney General of the Federation at that time. He was hunted across the globe. But today, he's alive, he's healthy, he's here to tell his story.
Well, this book, to me, is not simply a retrospective on a deal. It is a personal testimony from someone who held public trust and bore institutional responsibility during a turbulent and legally fraught moment in our nation's oil and gas sector.
Very interesting information there concerning the launch of the book. But let's give you a quick recap of some of the stories we've had here on Breakfast Central. Court affirms Okpebholo as Edo State governor. You can see the jubilation there. Not forget to Senate strip Senator Natasha of Diaspora role. We'll be having another incisive conversation on that. Adoke releases book on OPL 245. Well, let's bring to you what's coming up next here on Breakfast Central. Coming up next, Senate removes Senator Natasha's committee chair. We'll take a look at the implication, especially from the legal aspect, back to the drawing board as well. Things you should know that will affect you. And Edo State Supreme Court verdict sparks reactions. Stay here.
The Nigerian Senate has once again reshuffled its committee leadership, and this time it's Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan who's been shown the door. The senator representing Kogi Central has been removed as chair of the Senate Committee on Diaspora and Non-Governmental Organizations. Her replacement, Senator Aniekan Bassey of Upholds Northeast.
Now, this isn't the first time Senator Natasha has been caught in the crosshairs of Senate politics. Let's rewind. She was initially appointed chair of the Local Conduct Committee after her swearing in November 2023. By February, 2025, she was removed and reassigned to the Diaspora Committee. And that reassignment didn't come quietly. It followed her oversight of oil and gas agencies, an area known for its high stakes and political landmines.
Also, insiders hinted that a removal may have been politically motivated following the running battles in court cases after suspension from the Senate. joining us this morning to look at it. We do have lawyer Mr. Jide Ologu here with us live in the studio. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much for joining us.
It's my pleasure.
Well, I'm very much aware that just like every other person, though not a journalist, you've been following the case of Senator Natasha very closely. And this latest development, plus the fact that she's been expected to return, seems not to be happening anytime soon. What's your take on that? What's the judicial implication? I'm aware that there's some infractions, whether we like it or not showing up when you're expected and so on and so forth. What could this mean for her?
The Senate must function, and obviously, since her suspension, that committee has not been quite active. And as mentioned earlier, she was in one committee, the local content committee, before being moved to that of diaspora and non-governmental organizations. So I think it's a natural shuffling and reshuffling in the Senate. It may become sentimental knowing that she has some issues to resolve with the leadership of the Senate and with the Senate generally. And the most recent development in that area was the decision of the Federal High Court, that declared that her suspension is nullified, is excessive, and she also, while addressing her followers, said she was going to resume, but that never happened. And on the flip side also, she was slammed with 5 million naira fine for contempt of court. Recall that she published a derogatory apology on her X page. And again, the issues of respect for judicial pronouncements is what we are watching over now and trying to strike a balance, because the court also instructed her to publish apology in 2 national dailies and her Facebook page, but that has not been done, as we have been monitoring.
Can she challenge that decision?
And apologies to who, to be specific?
To the court for contempt of court, and again, the National Assembly, talking about the Senate now, is saying they need to study the certified true copy of the order to know the direction of compliance. And of course, talking about the 6 months, she was suspended, I think, on the 6th of March, 2025. So some months are gone and few months to go. So that matter is still out there. And then the Senate committee concerned is also looking at how to fine-tune their internal mechanism to be more specific and try to bridge some gaps.
My colleague asked a question about if she can challenge...
Yeah, because we're saying that she's filed a motion for a stay of execution regarding that apology, because she said that she's not in contempt based on that satirical apology that she initially issued.
And that is the judicial process for you. And that order has been made, and until her application to knock off that order is honored by the court, she has to comply. So, but when you talk of stay of execution, okay, if the court has received that application from her, that may act in the interim before pronouncement on it. But what we have observed is that, like the wise say, 2 wrongs cannot make a right. And my advice to the hallowed chamber is that they should try and study a conflict resolution. These issues that have brought all this drama is an issue that could have been resolved. Issue of change of seating arrangement in the Senate. No big deal about that. Some senators have experienced that earlier. And in conflict resolution, you identify what the issue is. And you don't try to personalize it or escalate. And the mode of communication is interesting. And in her own case, she brought in a bigger coloration of alleging sexual harassment, and making everything sensational. And I think if the National Assembly should focus on delivering good governance to the citizens. Issues like this should not drive to this extent. But here we are right now, you know. And like I said, it's a good thing she decided not to go and force herself to resume in the Senate, because that would have further complicated the issues. But there are processes of even, you know, executing your right when there is a judicial, particularly when she's also contesting her own part of what Justice Binta Nyako ruled out.
Now,
okay.
Now that
that was a big question.
Now that the High Court has ruled in her favor and says, you know, they've given conditions for her resumption and seen that she didn't run foul of any rules, she didn't break any laws. Does she have legal redress to challenge her removal as the chairman of the Diaspora Committee, or his family business? What happens in the Senate stays in the Senate.
You know, I say this, in judicial interventions, it's a journey that you cannot predict the number of years you'll be in court. We are talking about the Federal High Court now. The Court of Appeal is there, the Supreme Court is there. So it depends on whether the parties now decide that, oh, let's amicably resolve this matter and save the court the time, or they continue. So, and that's why I brought in the issue of conflict resolution, which could have saved time. Don't let us forget that these people are there, according to Section 4 of the Nigerian Constitution 1999 as amended, to make laws for the peace, orderliness, and good government in Nigeria, and not all this drama we are witnessing. Because whether you talk about have been elected to represent some constituents and that right has been breached by the suspension or whatever, we need to look at the bigger picture of delivering value to the citizen. So it can go on and on and on and on. And what I know about the judicial interventions is that if you return to the court and say, oh, please allow us to go and resolve this, we'll return with our resolutions, the court will be happy. There are many cases before the honorable justices of the judicial temple. So you can save them that time. And somewhere along the line, it may appear that this battle has shifted from focusing on the main issues to some external issues that are sensational and sentimental.
It feels like there's this, I mean, you've said it's shifted from the main issue and focusing on sentimental issues. It feels like there's a lot of technical issues that have now started to arise. For example, if the court has given a judgment in favor of Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, and they're saying that they've not yet received the certified true copy of the court, that they have to wait for the certified true copy. Bear in mind, this is not the first time we've seen this happen. In Rivers State, it was the same thing. When Governor Siminalayi Fubara said he was waiting for certified true copy, and everybody started foaming in the mouth that, oh, which one is he saying he's waiting for certified true copy? So let's talk about this issue of certified true copy. How long does it take typically, or how long should it, what's the current practice?
It's a beautiful question you've asked, and that has to do with bureaucracy. I mean, naturally speaking, and I speak respectfully, please, to the system. As the matter is proceeding, you should make it as part of dispensing justice, that as soon as that decision is made, the CTC should be ready. But you know Nigeria, you know, in fact, getting a date for your matter in the Supreme Court is a hard nut to crack. Right now, I have an issue with the Corporate Affairs Commission. You know, by the way, we have filed annual returns over the years since inception of that company registration. And somewhere along the line, around 2021 or 2022, the Corporate Affairs Commission decided to go digital and did not capture what we have paid. So they are now claiming that the company is inactive because they only have record for 4 months. And my question is that our fault? You have the hard copies, and that is Nigeria for you. The same question we may ask, that how long should it take any citizen to get the national identity number? I mean, these are policies that the government rolled out. They should be prepared for it in terms of infrastructure and things like that. So these are issues. And without the certified true copy, Where can you go? We had a similar case. We had a case against a big bank in the country that lasted for 15 years from the trial court to Supreme Court, and to the glory of God, we won. And when we approached them, they told us they've not gotten the certified true copy. And I think we had to go and get it for them so that we could move on to register that victory with the appropriate agency of the government. So these are issues. And I think Nigeria should wake up. When we talk about the ease of doing business, why do you employ these guys there? I mean, exactly. Okay, look at elections.
It's their job.
Yeah. You talk of election, you argue over beavers, over IREV and things like that. In some countries of the world, and I'm not being derogatory, it's not like that. You know, so these are issues. But at a time also, even the justices of the Supreme Court, some of them protested that there was a need to upscale the support system for them to function effectively, because when the justices have made their own pronouncements, it's now left to the clerical arm of the system to carry out all these things, and then perhaps some oil needs to move before you get your CTC or whatever.
But it appears that there's some ongoing reform to that currently, because the Chief Justice of Nigeria did speak to it. I think we had a package on that a few weeks ago. But it's a work in progress. They say Rome wasn't built in a day.
Well, you see, Esau, a wise man, said, after much is said and done, more is said than done. And that is the case of Nigeria. We travel out of this country. It doesn't take you months to get something. Even on your phone sometimes, you get things done and you move on. But why here? We are even discussing this that appears to be an apparent, concrete crisis for us. What about these telcos right now that we have? The disruption in that environment. Why should things be difficult? These are questions we are asking. You see, so if we must be effective, make the system fluent. I mean, you try and you want to perfect your title with the lands registry. It's crisis. Sometimes they tell you there's no electricity to power photocopying machines, different kinds of stories. Why should that be the case in this digital season of life?
Even is that bad that even getting your driver's license now is very tough? I don't know if anybody's going through that. They're being told that you're not able to print it out.
Is it only driver's license? What about even doing change of ownership, purchase a vehicle? And, you know, these are issues. And I know it's a tough case for the government, but Section 15, subsection 5 of the Nigerian Constitution 1999 as amended says clearly that the government shall abolish corrupt practices and abuse of office. So if you are in office to carry out a duty and you just become a big priest there, and it has to be done, you know, at your own terms, then it's sabotaging the effectiveness of the governance system. Yeah, and something must be done about that.
The Consumer Protection Agency is not really doing their job.
No. You know, let me commend the Federal Protection, and let me commend Last Cooper. They are trying. Yes, even the Federal, because I've had interactions with them.
But you see a particular airline notorious for cancelling and just...
that is, if you don't bring the case before them, they cannot intervene. I mean, I must commend them. I mean, they are... I've had to relate with them on the scale of some complaints, you know, and the great man in Last Cooper, Mr. Shulevo, is on his toes when it comes to effectiveness. And the Federal also, though my complaint before the Federal, we've not driven it through, but I'm impressed by the responses and from what we've been reading. But that is not to say there cannot be improvement.
So
but if you don't bring your
complaints,
complaints...
should complain, exactly.
Absolutely.
To the appropriate authorities.
Exactly.
When you have services that don't meet up to what they've promised, that below...
We are working on one now.
Can you also report government agencies to...
Thank you very much. If you look at section...
Or the federal.
Section 14 to section 18 of the Nigerian Constitution 1999 as amended, I have argued that if you implement the clauses up to 55%, Nigeria will be the third richest country in the world. But unfortunately, you cannot sue the government on this. And that is an issue that should bother the National Assembly members. That how can we make government accountable? So that is a brilliant concern that you just rolled out now. So it appears that the government, I have complained here now. Currently, I have a petition before the Registrar of Corporate Affairs Commission in Abuja. You know, so the government should not sit like a tiger, that anything we do, just take it. No.
Yes, sorry. Government can't micromanage every office. How about the cultural imports, the negative ones that say, you know, work chop. Now, where you do work, you go chop. Offices, corruption, people sitting on your file. How do you begin to deal with those type of corruption? Because the ordinary man will just go straight to, oh, they're riding Jeep, everybody in Abuja is corrupt and all of that. But that is corruption. NYSC officials that would manipulate students and make you pay for what is not necessary. They collect 50, 100 now from everybody. We want to buy file, we want to do all of this. How do you deal with those sorts of petty, not petty, corruption?
It's what I mentioned earlier. It depends on the direction the leadership is taking us. Let me bring the excellent example of Lee Kuan Yew, the founding father of the present Singapore. You know, Singapore left Malaysia in 1965 as a coastal region with huge vision and little resources. But today it's one of the best countries to live and work. And he engaged some of the concerns we brought up now. In Singapore, there's zero tolerance for corruption. And those engaging the people through government offices were trained, skilled, and well paid to deliver. You see, and there's a balance between the size of public government functionaries and the private sector business concerns, and to make the environment business friendly to attract foreign direct investment, just like you have also noticed in the United Arab Emirates. So it depends on the fabric of governance. And that is a concern for us now in the Institute of Leadership, Coaching and Strategy, you know, that how can we begin to push for ethical leadership? You know, how can we begin to push for justice in the system, equity, functional effect? Because if you look at the resources we have in this country, we should not be in the threshold of poverty. So those are issues. So, but when it comes to accountability, you expect that the MDAs should make their functionaries accountable. But some of the times, you are even confronted with the fact that, hey, we have a target. You know, I was discussing something yesterday. You know, I was involved in a matter, by the grace of God, I'm a chief superintendent of police, so there was a matter and I got involved. And it came to the point where they were now asking them for bail, go and bring money. And I said, the police will tell you don't pay for bail. Is that the reality?
Bail is free.
Bail is
free. So now, who holds them accountable?
Nobody.
Exactly.
Is it the police commission service?
You know, so these are issues. So there is a need for national repentance. And you see, more we benefit when we begin to do what is right in terms of leadership. But basically, like you insinuated, it's like, now where you they work, go chop. But must you chop sand where you they work?
It's a problem. It's a problem.
I want us to go back to the Natasha matter.
Yes.
And now she's been, my position as chairman has been taken away from her and given to another. The people are starting to join some parallels between the fact that he's an Akwa Ibom person, the person who has taken over from Senator Natasha. Is this the Senate being petty? Are they just being petty with the fact that the suspension, all the while she had been on suspension, this chairmanship wasn't taken, away from her, and now she's back, or supposed to be back. They're doing. It feels like they're doing everything within their power to make the rest of her time there a frustrating one for her.
Let me say this clearly. You see, Natasha is just one senator out of 109 senators in the Senate. So I don't want to bring in the issue of being petty. They have their functionaries, and I believe they should be consulting before making decisions. And like we mentioned earlier, she was in another committee, before being moved here. And It's all about rendering the services you are expected to render. And maybe if after a while she's not assigned to any committee, then she can raise questions with them. But I know that they have their privileges, ethics and power mechanism that can attend to that. But basically, there is a huge assignment they are there to carry out, which should reflect in prosperity to the citizens. You know, making laws by virtue of Section 4 of the Nigerian Constitution 1999 as amended, and the oversight functions. And have Nigerians seen that? So whether the new person is from Akwa Ibom or not or whatever, that can be resolved amongst them. Another, I know the sitting arrangement issue earlier happened between Senator Yao, who is from the north, and before you knew it, another northern senator was giving support and things like that. So I think we need to move beyond that level. You see, when they earn their salaries, they don't earn on the scale of ethnicity or whatever. It's on the scale of we must be compensated, and they are well compensated. So I don't want to join any sentimental engagement of this issue. And I think on her own part, she must have learned her lessons. You know, as an HR practitioner, I can tell you sexual harassment is a huge issue in human resource management. But then, as also a lawyer, I can tell you proving it is not that easy. So you don't just come out with allegations and things like that.
Hard to prove.
Exactly. And it came at a time when you now think to resolve this issue, you must bring this. And then he who alleges or she who alleges must establish. You see that. Well, I've rolled out something here this morning. There are various outlets. This matter can be resolved. I mean, they have their committees. Let's sit together. What are the issues? And you resolve and move on and get things done. Because sometimes your fans who are clapping for you out there, and when the damages are done, they move elsewhere. And so that is why we must all learn the techniques of conflict resolution.
I'm glad you're here, Barrister Ologun. So we're going to use one stone to kill a few birds this morning as a legal practitioner. Tomorrow, Lagos State local governments will be going to the polls, and there's some that feel, you know, there's things that the federal government of Nigeria recognizes 774 local governments in the country. There are about 20 officially recognized local governments in Lagos State, but the state has created what you call local council development authorities, and just last year the president granted autonomy to local governments in the country, and that's why we've seen a flurry of elections. I have two questions for you. Number one, those that feel these LCDAs are illegal, when the allocation comes from the federal government to the 20 recognized local governments, how would the sharing formula, how would they share this local government money to the LCDAs, which are not recognized by the federal government? And the second leg of my question is the implementation of this autonomy. Why is the money not going directly to the local government, and why are the governors still holding on to these monies? Why have we not seen full implementation?
Thank you very much. Let's start from the LCDAs. The LCDAs were created by Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu when the federal government withheld resources due to Lagos State. Creatively so. And don't forget, we have the Lagos State House of Assembly that can also make laws for Lagos. In fact, and the LCDAs have the approval of the Lagos State House of Assembly. They are not expected to draw revenue from the federal government because the Constitution only recognizes 20 local government areas. But you know, before now, before the government of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu sailed through with this autonomy for local government areas, we had this joint revenue between the state and local government. So it should have been easy then for the governors to collect the money and say, okay, local government areas, take your own, LCDs, take your own, just make sure you function. But I think that can still be possible. If you understand politics very well, I passed a comment when this issue of autonomy was being discussed that, what about if the federal government even releases the funds to the local government chairman and he takes it to the office of the governor? Governor, they brought the money, what do we do with it? if you understand politics, because you cannot just on your own become a local government chairman. And talking about Lagos State, we know Lagos State is peculiar. And even within, there was a move at a time in the House of Assembly in Lagos State to transform these LCDAs to like administrative councils. And there is an attempt also in the National Assembly to attract recognition for these LCDAs. And I think some other states are even coming up with that. But by and large, Lagos State has been able to sustain that innovative creation. But my appeal is just that pre-election, post-election, whatever, please let there be development at the grassroots levels. It's very important. You know, we don't have all the time to be ruling out the challenges. I have mentioned it here today that when you have a developed society, more benefit from it. So let the wealth of the nation reflect in the lifestyle of the people, the facilities that are available. And tomorrow is the election, and then we are requesting that everyone eligible to vote, don't hold back. Go and vote, and then when the results are out, then when these leaders step into office, you should also engage them and make them accountable, you know. And that is a huge issue also in Nigeria, because I have deliberately monitored some of the rallies and campaigns, and I was even there at the launching of these rallies and things. And then sometimes when you see how some electorates even engage, you ask yourself if they are interested in good governance, because it's like, oh,
it's
the season has come again, and let's get what we can get now.
The campaign train, you hardly hear anything. It's just music and dancing. And the electorates are waiting for goodie bags.
and then there's the challenge of people not really knowing who they are voting for. It seems like there are too many faces, duplication of who and what. So people are confused. You know, some are saying campaigns were not properly done like previous times and so on.
I won't fully agree with that. You see, maybe the person should realize that what you find in Ikeja is different from what you find in Ifakojaye.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's different from what you find in Surulere. And since the primaries, which were controversial also, because some stakeholders, even within some parties, felt it was more or less like just imposing candidates. The candidates were identified. And if you see the posters, my concern is just that we should come to the point where we don't need to spend so much on these posters and these pre-elections activities. And there are countries where you don't even shut down the community because of the elections.
There will be no movement from 3 a.m. to 3 p.m.
But I think that has been adjusted by the police command or so. But we need to monitor to find that. Because when I initially saw that 3 a.m., I was wondering, what is that of? You know, so
and some of us will even be in the nightclub at that time.
So you club?
People like Olive and I.
I know they
you club? So let me preach to you to repent.
But
all work and no payments, Jack, Olive, and
work-life balance in HR does not prescribe clubbing as part of the balance.
But there are people's business.
Let me give you a fantastic idea. Just visit Niagara Waterfalls in Ontario, Canada. That will give you the...
Wow.
With these days, everybody is giving us tough visa to get to any Western country now. Is like making it to heaven.
If you need it, you can get it. You are in a strong brand. You know, New Central Africa is a strong
Thank
brand.
you.
I hope the embassies are watching.
Yes, thank you so much to the embassies. We're coming with applications. But I want to talk about the local government elections because I think that, we're saying this yesterday, I think this might be one of the most keenly contested local government elections that we've seen, especially because of the autonomy that has been granted to the local government.
Absolutely.
What do you expect in terms of litigation in the legal space? What do you expect from these elections? Do you think that the fact that the Supreme Court had pronounced autonomy of the local government to hugely impact what the results would be like, and the after effects of the elections, do you think there will be a huge impact in that and maybe a spike in court cases?
The autonomy is that release funds to local government directly, you know, and let them run their show. And that any local government authority that doesn't have elected leadership will not be recognized. And I think it's beautiful. Yes, it has made it keen because now you have more resources directly at the grassroots level. But I have also mentioned here, practically, the influence of the governors cannot be overruled, and the godfathers in politics. So it's now for the people to design a mechanism to make sure those resources reflect in development in the communities. And again, do the community stakeholders, because some people, opinion leaders, are they interested on development or stomach infrastructure? Like Ayodele Fayose prompted. And these are issues. So the people also must want sustainable development in communities.
Do you expect a clean sweep like we've seen in Abia State? It was LP all through. In different states where as long as the state government belongs to a party, it's expected that all is almost like a foregone conclusion. But Lagos is sophisticated, it's cosmopolitan, it's the center of excellence. Do you expect things to be different, or it's another foregone conclusion, a clean sweep to the ruling party in the state?
From what I've seen, I expect a cleanup.
You're not missing words about
yes,
it.
If I told, yeah, from what, you know, I monitor, I'm interested in this, you know, I monitor. From the activities I've seen, politically speaking, I expect a cleanup. But that is not to say that there may not be some surprises. But from the internal mechanism, I think there is preparation for those surprises not to spring up. You know, and you saw what happened in some other states also. So,
okay. All right, the conversations are what we're going to continue with later on. Obviously, I'm sure that you can catch all the local government elections here on News Central. I will be covering it, most importantly, live, the best way possible, live. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pastor. Thank you. As always.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. We'll go on a break. When we come back, we'll bring to you more stories here on Breakfast Central. Stay with us. Welcome back. Edo State has been awash with reactions following the Supreme Court's final ruling that affirmed Monday Okpebholo as the duly elected governor of the state. While members of the All Progressives Congress are celebrating what they call a divine validation of the people's mandate, the opposition PDP has voiced concerns as residents call for unity and visible progress. News Central's Amenze Bazwaye captures the mood across party lines and what the people are saying on the streets of Benin City. Take a look.
The atmosphere was electrified with joy and gratitude as songs of victory echoed through the Government House Cathedral in Benin City. Supporters, worshippers, and government officials all turned out in high spirits to celebrate Governor Monday Okpebholo's legal triumph, bringing to a close months of political uncertainty. Organizers of the session say it's not just a celebration, but a spiritual thanksgiving. For them, the ruling is divine affirmation of both their prayers and the democratic process.
Edo people that supported distinguished Senator Monday Okpebholo is today they have been waiting for the final good news for him. That is why we are here to praise the Lord. And I want to commend the church and the Edo people for standing behind God's mantle in the personality of the angel of Edo State, distinguished Senator Monday Okpebholo.
We're here to celebrate the goodness of God in our lives. You know, at the beginning, a lot of stories were told, but when God chooses you, nobody can contend with you. So we are here to celebrate him, to thank him. When you thank somebody, he does more for you. And God dwells in the praises of his people.
We know that the Supreme Court judgment is a confirmation of what the Lord has done in the spirit that is coming to manifestation. What God has ordained, no man can change it.
Governor Monday Okpebholo, initially declared by the Independent National Electoral Commission, has now had his mandate upheld at every stage of legal challenge, culminating in the Supreme Court's final judgment. In Edo, for News Central, Ameze Bazwaye.
Very interesting times.
There, you can see the joyful celebrations and dance moves celebrating the governor's victory at the Supreme Court.
You know, it brings to mind, Benga, the celebrations are usually done in the church. You know, where they go to the church, they celebrate what happened. And then, of course, I think we just coined the name, the PNG, PMG, Political Man of God.
And we're seeing quite a lot of them these days because the last time the FCT minister went to church for Thanksgiving service and for the successful commissioning of projects. Some observers thought, you know, Nigeria is a secular country. Why do you... and then he used the podium for politicking too. He was making political statements there that there should be a place for, you know, for religion and politics, that you shouldn't blur the lines. And seeing this gentleman on your screen, I don't think there's any harm in it. If the governor goes there to do a Thanksgiving service, but the governor is not there, he's taking it upon himself.
Yeah.
He's a very political man of God, a PMG.
PMG. Yeah,
that's it's the celebration and the rejoicing.
I learned some nice down steps in that church, and I'll be practicing it tonight in the nightclub.
You've been
in a disco.
But I just, again, to mention that we need to get to the point where we no longer have, apart from our pulpits. Pulpits are holy. Pulpits are sacred. But you should not be corrupted with politicians coming to, you know, turn it into an opportunity to throw jabs at their competitors and their opponents. The pulpit should remain as a sacred, holy place, just as it ought to be. And we should stop desecrating it with politicians. Politicians are just regular people. If they are really coming to look for God, they should be allowed to sit down anywhere and praise God from the comfort of wherever they are seated in church. Let's move on from Edo State politics now to the Red Chambers. We have Joshua Imarai, who will bring us reports regarding Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan and the latest in this case. Remember, we said she's been removed from chairing a certain committee talking about the diaspora. And there's also been a lot of back and forth regarding her stepping up and her resumption, the Senate stating that they need to see the certified true copy. But Joshua Imarai has all the tea. Good morning, Joshua. Good morning. All right, talk to us. How is the pulse in Abuja this morning, especially regarding Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan?
Well, of course, Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan is still expecting the certified true copy of the judgment of the Federal High Court on this week. And they are saying that they will make any further or take any step without through that particular document, so as not to be on the side of the law, as well as the Senate is expecting that particular judgment. Last time when we were informed that Justice Netanyahu said the judgment will be ready in a few days, that the written copy of the judgment will be ready in a few days. But it is, however, unclear why that particular judgment has not been ready and they've not been taking action. Or maybe they've gotten the judgment and they are yet to take action as regards that document. So we are expecting them to say something. They are doing forward. But however, it might be that the Senate has seen that particular document, hence the need trigger of the chairmanship of that particular committee, which was chairing. So we don't know what we are still expecting that there will be some permutation from these two angles, that's the Senate and, of course, Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan on this particular issue.
All right. But then again, is there any clear indication why the senator has not even showed face, especially in the assembly? And can you share with us what some members might be saying?
Well, of course, you know the Senate is an institution. It's another arm of government, particularly like the executive and the judiciary. And when the judgment was being brought out before that day, it was clear from all indications that the judiciary was fearful of the strength of state as regards the particular other arm of the government. However, the Senate is still resilient on his thought and his mantra, saying that it is their mandate to punish an erring senator that is found wanting or the other. However, Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan is not backing down. We are expecting that in the coming days we put on the fight. But among the senators in the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I think there's still this sense of cohesion from their own quarter, saying that the Senate is an institution and should be respected. That whatever the Senate is saying, it is binding because there are laws supporting that part, particularly in the Constitution and the Legislative Act, as well as the orders of the National Assembly.
Wow. Okay. All right. Anyway, I'm sure we'll get more updates in the course of the days to come. It's Friday already. Monday, we can't wait to see what will happen. But thank you so much, Joshua Barayi, for bringing us these updates. Thanks. Thank you so much. All right. Coming up next here on Breakfast Central happens to be breakfast headlines, after which, of course, we'll delve into the front pages of the newspapers where you can be part of the show on a Friday. Stay with us.
It's time for breakfast headlines. I'm Genga Bora. We begin with security matters. The president of the United Farmers Association, Benue Valley, Dennis Gbogbon Otsa, has condemned the recent surge in violence, calling it a coordinated genocidal attack rather than the commonly framed farmer-herder conflict. Speaking at a town hall organized by News Central TV on Thursday, Otsa pointed to the recent attacks in Yelwata, clarifying that it was not carried out by herders but a proscribed group known as the Lakurawa Bandit Gang. This comment comes amidst mounting pressure on authorities to address the escalating insecurity across rural communities in the region.
Operation White Stroke, and we told them that these herders coming from that side, they are with arms, and they said it's a lie. A civil defense officer just shot his shot on air, and we could see that 10 AK-47s were brought out, and they were shooting sporadically. The whole camp, everybody was out and crossed out the road on the other side. So it's so worrying. We are trying to look at efforts to see that the government had to sit down and talk about these issues. Clearly, the last time we have an interview with some military generals, they came in to understand the context. They were giving all the process that should they take back the military back from the communities, or should they allow them to continue staying with the communities?
And let's turn attention to political matters. The senators named Aniekan Bassey, representing Akwa from Northeast, as the new chairman for its committee on diaspora and non-governmental organizations. The position was previously chaired by Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, who led the committee before her suspension earlier in the year. Senate President Godswill Akpabio made the announcement at Thursday's plenary and hinted at an upcoming shake-up of deputy committee chairmanship, citing imbalance in current allocations.
Chairman of the Senate Committee on Diaspora and NGOs is distinguished Senator Aniekan Bassey, and it will take effect from today. As a result of the fact that some of the senators have two vice chairmanship positions. In fact, I know of one who has three. Maybe his name kept coming up, while others do not have. So, leader of the Senate, please assess to make sure everybody is carried along. Every senator should either be a chairman or a vice chairman so that we balance the situation.
Now to election matters. The Lagos State Independent Electoral Commission, NASIEC, has assured residents of its preparedness for the upcoming local government and local council development area elections scheduled for Saturday, the 12th of July 2025. Speaking at a press briefing, NASIEC Chairperson Justice Bola Okeke-Ihile, retired, revealed that out of 19 registered political parties, 15 will participate in the polls. She disclosed that more than 6 million permanent voters' cards have been collected and emphasized that both sensitive and non-sensitive materials have been deployed for the central warehouse for secure storage. In the meantime, the Federal Capital Territory Administration has apprehended 210 beggars under the Operation Sweep Abuja of miscreant street beggars, traders, scavengers, and other criminal elements, which commenced on Monday. Acting Director of Social Welfare, the FCTA, Gloria Onwuka, disclosed this in Abuja on Thursday at the end of day 4 of the exercise. Onwuka said that the operation was in line with the directive of the FCT Minister, Nelson Wike. She said that beggars who were caught in the act in different locations were profiled and will be deported back to their various states. Mali's military ruler, General Assimi Goïta, has officially granted himself a 5-year presidential mandate, renewable as many times as necessary and without the need for an election. The law signed by Goïta on Thursday and made public cements his grip on power until at least 2030, despite previous promises by the military government to restore civilian rule by March 2024. The measure was widely anticipated after Mali's military-appointed legislative body, the National Transitional Council, passed the bill last week. A South African court has handed down a 15-year prison sentence to a former police officer for the 1987 murder of a young anti-apartheid activist, marking a rare conviction for crimes committed during the apartheid era. Johan Marais, who admitted in 2019 to killing Caiphus Nyoka, a member of the Congress of South African Students, was sentenced today by the High Court Judge Papi Masopa. The judge noted Marais showed no genuine remorse and described the sentence as retribution for the crime. The courtroom erupted in anti-apartheid songs as supporters celebrated the verdict. And that's all on the news at this hour. Breakfast Central continues shortly. I am Benga Aborowa.
Central. Let's go straight to our correspondent who is live in Umuahia. We do hear that there was a fire somewhere in Umakala Street, and Chinwe Okele joins us this very hour. Good morning, Chinwe. Can you quickly let us into what's happening within the neighborhood?
Good morning. Yes, I'm at Obakala Street. There was a fire outbreak here early this morning, and some shops were affected. About 3 shops were totally gutted by the fire. The neighbors were able to just save some of the items in the shop. But then they've lost lots of things. And earlier, before now, when I came here, I met the home security advisor to the governor, who talked about the people's failure to alert the authorities when the fire started. So the people resorted to self-help. I have here with me one of the people who owned shops in this area and whose shop was also partly affected. Hello, madam. What's your name? Okay, so what happened here today?
I was at my house. Because before somebody told me one of my friends and then I should come that my shop was one. I said I don't know what was counted. I can all my property.
Okay, so but by the time you came, what was happening? Were people helping to put out the fire? Did you people call the fire service?
I don't know people thought, but I know that my friends and well wishers, people that helps. I don't even know where to start. Even anything, I don't even know where they pack them to. But all I know is that they're all outside. So I really thank God and thank my neighbors, my friends. I don't even know how they go. I don't know.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so you can go. So there you heard from her. She's just one of the lucky ones whose shops were partly affected, but there were people whose shops were totally razed down. And the problem from what I discovered was that the people did not call the authorities, because when the authorities arrived, the fire had almost been put out by self-help that the people resorted to. They were using buckets to fetch water to pour, but then it affected the building and some of the goods they had in the shops.
Can you also tell us if that's the shop behind you there? We'd like you to, is there a possibility to get a glimpse of what it looked like? And while you're thinking of helping us do that, can you also shed more light on what particular time did this happen? I think I must have missed that, and I'm sure many of our viewers want to know. What time did this fire incident happen, and was there any impact on lives?
Okay, from what I gathered from the people here, we heard that it happened around 5 a.m. today. No life was lost, no life was affected. Of course, there are shops, people don't live here, but then you can see that this shop is totally empty. They are actually cleaning out because the people helped to clear out the debris from the fire. So it's like that with 2 more shops around this area. If you can see, you see the zincs are all removed, you know. So the other shops just beside got lucky because people came and intervened. But then lots of things were lost. No life was affected, nobody died, nobody got hurt. It's just what they have is a loss of goods that they had in their shops. And then the building itself has been affected, impacted by the fire.
All right. Thank you so much, Chinwe, for bringing us the updates there on the incidents that took place right there in the market area. Thank you. Well, away from that, let's come back home and take a look at the front pages of the newspapers. And that's exactly what we're going to do next, right now, here on Breakfast Central. We do have a few papers to look into. I would like to ask that you feel free to join us by simply calling the phone number you'd find on the screen shortly and let us know what your thoughts are concerning some of the very interesting stories that you would see. Mr. Ona joins us here. He's our analyst for today. It's good to see you. Good morning, sir, and welcome to the front pages here.
Thank you for joining us,
Breakfast Central.
Good morning.
Yeah, good to see you.
Thank God it's Friday.
Yes, thank God it's Friday. I don't know what you make. Before I go into the papers, Mr. Ona, please. There's a video of Mr. Peter Obi circulating online where he's sharing food. I know you're very, very concise and clear when it comes to the use of social media. I do get some of your broadcasts. I don't know if you've seen that video. Let's show the video to you. There it is on the screen, where
There's 2 portions of jollof rice.
Yes.
3 portions of porridge there.
And that's pure. And last time we checked, he didn't have a catering service. What's your take on this? Do you think this is taking it too far?
In the name of humility.
I don't think so. He's a humble fellow, and he has demonstrated that over time. It's not a one-off thing. If it's one-off, then you'll be saying, maybe this guy is pretending. You'll discover that anytime they have a salah, he goes to the low of the lowest.
We understand that. This is the first.
I don't know the program, whether
it's an event.
It's an event. And who's anchoring the event? Maybe he's the person anchoring the event, sponsoring the event. So, if it's the person sponsoring the event, there's nothing wrong in what he's doing. But if it's not the person sponsoring the event, well, I don't know.
But will you serve portions of rice, porridge, plantain?
It depends on what I want to achieve.
What do you think exactly? What do you think he wants to achieve?
What's he achieving?
Because if President Bola Tinubu saw him in a party tomorrow serving rice, the same will drag him.
I remember when the governor Sanwo-Olu was plaiting hair too.
Yeah, I think he wants to show how down to earth he is. Well, if he's taking this too far, that's what I don't know. But he's trying to prove that he's down to earth.
Okay.
That's what I feel.
All right, let's go down to papers, since we are still here. The Nigerian Tribune is our first paper this morning. How Adoke orders stopped Jonathan from removing me as governor, Shettima says. Ex-AGF was hunted globally over $1.3 billion OPL 245 saga. Jonathan, I have forgiven everyone behind my ordeal, Adoke says. Akpabio removes Natasha as Diaspora Committee chair, appoints Akwa Ibom senator in her place. That was very shady. They put that person's tribe intentionally to draw parallels. And NNPCL must account for 210 trillion naira, Senate insists. Flood may unleash toxic chemicals, poses risk to elderly. Ecosystem, United Nations warns. Supreme Court affirms Okpebholo as Edo State governor. ROI Economic Forum warns against CBN's new BDC recapitalization. Nigeria won't bow to U.S. pressure to accept Venezuelan deportees, according to TG. FG, rather, federal government. Okay, let's start with Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan being removed as chairman of the Diaspora Committee. How does that come across to you?
No, there's no shock. I know it's going to happen. It would have been a no-brainer for anybody to believe that she will still retain that position, going by the things that's been happening with her since that debacle at the Senate. So it didn't come to me as a surprise. I expected it to happen. But then we need to be very careful. I said it in one of the television station this morning, that when you underestimate the power of a woman, at times you get your fingers burnt because they are pushing it too far. They have attacked his house more than 3 times now, and nobody seemed to be doing anything. They said one person was picked up this few days ago, and the others are on the run. And let them come and confess the people that are sending them, because I know they are being sent.
No. Okay, let's move on from there to the winning of Governor Okpebholo, the celebration. Are you celebrating with them?
Listen, that's the least thing that anybody will think of, because from day one, I didn't even know why PDP would go to court. Because
felt like a waste of time.
Yes, now waste of time and resources and the energy, because nothing is going to come out of it.
Why?
Even Wike said yesterday that they knew who won the election. So if Wike can say that, with his one leg in PDP, one leg in APC, he is a member of PDAPC. So if he can say that, then your guess is as good as mine. The courts have not been helping matters. We need to say it succinctly. They have not been helping matters. So please, they should help us do the right thing.
But if the party does not present a convincing case and does not prove beyond reasonable doubt,
exactly, because that's what they are saying.
There's only little the court can do.
Before you respond to that, let's take a call. Chidi is calling from Lagos. Good morning, Chidi.
Yeah, good morning, Olive and Benga and the guests in the studio. Can you hear me very well?
Yes, we can hear you. If you can speak up, we'll appreciate that.
So we can pick it up.
Okay, I want to react to the first issue you raised there. Peter Obi, I know very well. Yeah, you can hear me very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know very well. I've been living with him. We all grew up in the state of Onitsha. And Peter Obi is not pretending for anything. That is his background.
That's what I said.
I know his parents. I know his siblings. I grew up with him, so I can tell you about him. He's not pretending. He is just a home-trained boy. A man that is well, properly trained, looking at religion and other side too. That's number one. Number two, Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, I know that thing will play out. You two should know. She fought the Senate president, and you expect him to keep her. It's natural. I expect that to happen, and it has happened. Thirdly, I think the issue of vice president and the book launch, and even the one that has passed, Garba Shehu book launch, these two events that is coming up, or that has come up, why is the vice president telling us what happened about removing the state governor? What did he say when his principal declared state of emergency in Rivers State? What did he say? So he wants us to clap for him, applaud him. No, they are in the same camp. What I am seeing playing out is that this government, these people, these politicians, they want to distract Nigerians from the main substance, from the main issue. That's what they're trying to do. They want us to be talking about book launch, while they do what they are doing. Now, Nigerians have gone past. We are not interested in what happened about book launch, whether you told the president, Adoke told the president you don't have right, or damn the world. No, we have passed that. So let them not distract Nigerians. Nigerians are waiting for them in 2027. On the issue of Okpebholo winning the election, I blame INEC is the problem of all these things. INEC is the major cause of everything that happened in Edo State. A state where they had election, the senatorial zone, the local government where the seat of power, INEC office, was the one that brought his report last. I'm supposed to bring his own first because INEC office was in that zone. You see, a lot of things transpired in Edo State. We know.
All right.
We know who won the election, but on the last day, on the day of reckoning, everything will come out.
Who won the election? You said you know who won the election.
Yeah, hello?
On the spot.
Oh, the networks.
Let me react to the last thing he said. You see, you don't mention Satan when you're talking of sinners. That's why I didn't mention INEC, because INEC case has gone beyond redemption. And I mentioned the courts because the current Chief Justice of the Federation now came with a baggage. And when she came on board, she said she's going to sensitize the judiciary. That's why I mentioned them. Otherwise, they would have been the same place where INEC is.
Okay.
Let's see other papers as well and see what they're saying. Well, still on anyway, the Punch has a very strong front page as well. But look at it. Autonomy standoff. Governors get 4.5 trillion naira local government funds 1 year after Supreme Court ruling. Local governments yet to open CBN accounts. Labour blames governors, AGF for delay. Falanas, Sands accuse governors and federal government. There's so much to look into on the front page of the Punch newspaper. But let's look at this. Let's look at this 4.5 trillion naira that the local government funds.
The fund is not going to local government for now because they don't have accounts. It's still going to the state governors. And my worry here is that there was an executive bill.
That's exactly
that local government funds should go to local government. Exactly. It didn't stop at that. The governors went to court, and the Supreme Court still declared that those funds should go direct to local government.
Exactly.
So I still hold the...
Who's flouting the...
I hold the federal government responsible. Why do I do that? Now, during the time of Obasanjo, you recall that the current president established new local governments. And Obasanjo said, this is unconstitutional. Remove those local governments. He said no. Obasanjo now withdrew the funds for local government. Yes, the court said, the Supreme Court said, he doesn't have right to do that. But when you don't have a law without punishment, you know, people are bound to flout the laws. The problem we have in Nigeria is that we have so many laws, but we don't have penalties. And when people flout those laws, there are no punishments. So people are willing to do whatever they like. Look at EFCC telling us in one of the papers this morning how much money have been, or how much money that the National Assembly has been getting from whatever Ponzi schemes and what have you. Are they telling us to go and arrest them? What's the duty of EFCC? Is it to announce that something has happened or to arrest the people that did it?
It's even, even in front of the Punch there. It says corrupt politicians using crypto wallets to launder money.
Yes. Why are they telling us?
So who are the corrupt politicians?
Do they have immunities? Those people have immunities?
Every day.
They do this every now and then.
Every and I don't know who is impressed.
It's much more like it's like an advertisement.
Maybe they're telling you how to go and arrest them while they stay in air-conditioned office and salaries for doing nothing.
Now let's go back to the front page of the Punch newspaper. There's an interesting story there on the front page that says NNPC refineries may never work again, says Dangote. He has the largest single train refinery in the world. And then we've seen what has been happening with our refineries. We saw the magical launch that maybe came out with, they refined maybe a little bit of petroleum jelly, but it even stopped working. We've spent billions on turnaround maintenance, but the refineries remain comatose and they still draw allocation every month. They have staff, they have a budget, and we've been bleeding dollars. So what do you make of the statement coming from Mr. Dangote?
I've said it before.
Is it in his interest that these refineries will not work?
Yeah,
and why is it that they are not working? It seems like a curse.
It's not a curse. Look at the amount of money that is missing in NNPCL, and nobody
they refuse to show up
anything. Nobody's arresting anybody.
Invited a few people.
Even the National Assembly, but they refuse to show up.
This is not the first time people are being arrested. At the end of the day, nothing will come out of it. See, I've said it before, I'm going to say it again and again, that the monies we are wasting in NNPCL is going down the drain. The best bet for government is to sell out those companies. Let me tell you, you see, we said it before, and some people who don't have the facts began to say we are always criticizing anything government. See, the time they launched that NNPCL, the Port Harcourt refinery, we were told, in good authority too, that the refinery was not refining anything. That the petrol PMS that they had that time was the little reserve they had in the old refinery. They just transported it to the new one and dispensed. And
sir, but this is the National 419.
Hold on. They said that let's watch and see. And immediately after that fuel finished, the thing ended. The truth remains that NNPC is still importing PMS from a plant in Malta, and they know who owns those plants in Malta. And that is why they have refused to sell crude to Dangote. And at the end of the day, when the brouhaha came and Dangote wanted to spill the beans, they now started selling part of the fuel to Dangote. The reason is that if they sell the whole crude to Dangote in Naira, the price of fuel will not be more than 600 Naira. And when they bring in their own from Malta, it will cost more.
They will be forced to bring it down.
It will cost more, and they will not make profit. So it's something we know. Some of us know the games they are playing. They are using us to play ping pong. That's the truth. So we need government to please sell out those refineries. The money is expended, both in Naira, dollars and pounds sterling, on those refineries would have given us 2 brand new refineries of modern tech.
But the Dangote refinery now has the capacity to take care of our needs, petroleum needs.
I have challenge with Dangote because he's a monopolist. And you don't blame him, he's a businessman. Watch all trades that he has gone into. He will monopolize, eventually he will come subtle, and they'll think, this guy has come with a lower price. Before you know it, when he has gotten grounds, he will use price to knock off every other person.
But other players are allowed to play, like the BUA refinery is coming on.
That's what I say. He will use price. See, that's what we call price war in economics. He will use price to set them out of business. He has one of the biggest refineries you can think of around. So he has the capacity. And don't forget, that's what we call economy of large size in economics.
But if prices come down, it's beneficial for the citizens. We're better off for it. I'm happy to buy petrol at...
Okay, let me tell you the game he's playing.
Price.
He will first of all bring down the price to knock off competitors. And once the competitors are gone, he will jack up his price. That has been his practice. Follow him. I've been following him fender to bumper. That's his modus operandi. He will use price to knock off opposition or competitors rather. And then, once competitors are gone, he will jack up his price.
All right, we have a caller
his businesses.
I think we have a caller from Edo State. Good morning. Welcome.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Obefun Osadolo. I'm calling from Benin.
Okay, Obefun, I'm sure you're part of those celebrating the sweet news.
Yeah, you see, I just want to contribute in, first and foremost, please. You see, you are in a call-up program sometime like this. When somebody calls in, please, you people should try to hear from people outside calling in. If you put on hold, it's somehow now. So please, I want to contribute in regard of the election in Benin and what transpired. You see, the truth is that the governor, which happened to be the past governor now, have a very big issue in Benin to settle. You don't imagine a man who fights the Oba of Benin. You cannot imagine a man who fights the political party. And I hear when people are saying, I know this, I know that. Yes, I know these people have their own issue. But you see, this one is a clear issue. You don't just talk about this election at all, because the man that destroyed it is not going to Benin. So please, this election was won because of the weakness of the past governor. He has so many enemies everywhere in this state. So please, this election was won, and this one is a warning to every other governor in any state. You should learn to manage your people. Learn to manage the leader you make. Learn to manage those ones that are ahead of you or you are ahead of. So this is what just transpired in Benin. Not that maybe there's anything like INEC did this one. You cannot even bring the proof. We followed everything. You cannot bring proof. And you are telling me INEC did this. No, please, sir. Don't bring INEC into this. Don't bring the judiciary into this. The fault is just on the governor that left, and he knows it. And even we all know it here. So thank you very much. I really appreciate that, and I thank you for your program.
Thank you for calling in. I was struggling a lot to hear him.
Yeah, I couldn't hear him well at all.
But I just don't want to interrupt. But I think what he was trying to drive at is that it's not about INEC.
Yeah.
Was it about INEC?
Yeah, that we should stop blaming them.
But we knew what INEC did before the election, before even that election. Some of the manipulations that was coming from INEC. So let's forget that. It's like I said before, it's a no-brainer that what happened in Edo happened. All of us know where it was coming from. So it's one of those things.
Okay, let's still look at that front page of the last paper we're looking at, Punch. And it says, Nigerians won't bow to U.S. pressure to accept Venezuelan deportees. And this was said by Nigeria's Foreign Affairs Minister, Yusuf Tuga, where he said that we won't cave into pressure from the Donald Trump administration to accept Venezuelan deportees. He had gone on an interview and said that Nigeria has challenges on its own, a lot of challenges, and therefore it will not be a dumping ground for Venezuelan prisoners deported from the U.S. amid Trump's crackdown on undocumented migrants. He also said that this whole drama with the U.S., he doesn't think is connected to BRICS, according to the report. And I mean, tariff hike threats might have nothing to do with Nigeria's participation in the BRICS summit. But what would they think of if they are trying to deport their Venezuelan citizens? They are bringing them to here. What concerns us with their wala?
I don't understand Trump. But for the minister to say it's not connected with Brexit, I think he's being economical with the truth. Because some of the things that are happening now is connected with Brexit. Trump said it, the BRICS, sorry. Trump said it before that BRICS, that any country that attains that meeting, well, their tariffs will be increased. And he has done that succinctly, immediately.
But is that diplomacy or bullying?
Yeah. Well, that's bullying. I said it before that election. I said it on several television stations that Trump is a racist, but people didn't buy it. Even there was a lady from the U.S. in one of the programs, and she was saying, no, Trump is one of the best things that will happen to America. Today, they have seen how best he is. Again, you see, the issue of, I think it's in that paper too, the issue of 3 months, one entry visa is equally related to that. Nigeria is, the minister is denying that it's not reciprocity, but I Googled it yesterday. I don't know what Google is lying. And Google said that Nigeria said that Americans coming to Nigeria will only have work entry of 3 months. So that is why America is responding.
Yep.
But they're denying it here. I don't know why they're denying it. I don't know whether they're the people telling lies or Google is telling lies. So at the end of the day, if they have done that to America, they have reciprocated. So because I know that there was a time this government was talking of stopping people from jackpying, and I think they must have done that policy then, not knowing the implication. Now that the push has come to shove, they are trying to micromanage the truth.
Well, I mean, countries have agency. They're independent countries to choose whoever they want to do business with. We live in a multipolar world. You could decide to go with the West or do business with China.
Exactly.
Or for non-aligned countries, do business with everyone. You just don't take a position. So why is Trump trying to, you know, insist and bully? The other day, 5 African heads of states were in the Oval Office, and
I was talking down on them.
he was talking and he said, please, can you hurry up, and because we don't have time. And he was commending the Liberian president. Some people said it was compliments. Oh, you speak such beautiful English. Where did you get educated?
I can imagine. Let's also take a look at another paper very quickly, please. Let's look at the Daily Times.
Yeah.
Daily Times. Let's look at Daily Times. There's a story there that I want us to look at very quickly. Killing of 2-year-old. Senate urges Tinubu to pay 200 million compensation. I don't know if you heard of that story. It was said at the EFC. Was it the EFCC, if I get that right?
NDLEA.
NDLEA, I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon. NDLEA. Yes, they killed the 2-year-old, and then the other one was injured in the eye.
Yeah.
A bullet hit the other one in the eye.
We had the story here.
Yes, we had it this morning as well.
The story was on, but at the point it died down. So.
Yeah. But how can we stop the occurrence of issues or stories like this? That's one. And secondly, why is it that at the end of the day, there's no law that can hold these agencies to ensure that whatever damage has been caused to anyone, they have to bear the burden? Because when we saw the video, we did see a member of the Senate asking that the money should be given to this family, calling on Mr. President. Is it Mr. President that would give that money?
Well, I don't know how you look at it, because if the agency that is giving the money is still come from the federal post, so whosoever is giving it, when you say presidency, I don't think they are saying the president should bring the money from his pocket. I think what he's saying is that the federal government should be responsible for that because it's a federal agency. Sorry, there was an issue I missed to mention when we were talking of this, Trump and whatever issue. For 2 solid years, there are no ambassadors.
From Nigeria.
From Nigeria. So what do you expect? Is the ambassadors that are supposed to discuss these issues diplomatically before even the foreign minister will be invited? But now we don't have ambassadors. So what happens? Any country does, my friend was saying that every country has right. The same way America has right. The same way Trump has right to bully any nation in face.
We have what they call the charged affairs. The embassies are not, it's like a permanent secretary.
Those ones
sort of
don't
They're not
have the
empty.
powers that an ambassador has. Their powers are limited.
Very true, very true. There's another story here. Plateau killing, Governor Mufwang inaugurates 150 agro rangers. So here comes the agro rangers.
We have forest rangers
Finally.
now. We have agro rangers. I think it makes it
Power Rangers. Oh my God.
I think it's the COS, one of the papers this morning, that said it is time for ranching. And we've said this time without number, that these open grazing will have to be a thing of the past. I recall that during the time of Buhari, when he told us that we should not call herdsmen Fulani herdsmen, and I asked the question if there are Igbo herdsmen or Yoruba herdsmen. You see, we know where the herdsmen are coming from. That same period, they replicated what they were doing in Nigeria in Ghana. And the Ghanaian president said, if you see any cow on the road, shoot at sight. In 2 days, they shot 100 cows. And that was how it stopped. Now, they want to shift attention now to forests, guarding the forest and what have you, so that we take off these bandits. Now, we have to start from the basics. That's the nexus. Because these people, with their cows, will still go inside those places. So the first thing that would have been done was to ensure that this ranching has taken off. And once it takes off, now you can be able to isolate those of them that are using ranching to do kidnapping and what have you. So the work of these rangers would have been reduced.
Using herding as a cover for heinous crimes.
Right. Okay. The next story right beside that one says 210 street beggars arrested in FCT over criminal activities. Now, if you look at what the numbers are saying, we're seeing here that the 210 beggars comprise of 80 men, 58 women, and 72 children, and they've been camped at a rehabilitation center in Buhari. The scavengers, one chance syndicate, and other criminals who were also apprehended have been handed over to the police. So the Acting Director of Social Welfare, Social Department Secretariat of FCTA, Mrs. Gloria Onwuka, disclosed that some individuals imported the children from Kano, Katsina, and other states into Abuja to beg and hand over the proceeds to them. She also disclosed that after being profiled, the children would be deported back to where they came from.
Thank God that this is happening at the federal capital, because right now nobody will accuse any state of deporting citizens from their states. Because this has been a recurring decimal. Recall it has happened in Lagos, it has happened in Anambra and 1 or 2 other states. You see, beggars are not supposed to be on the streets at the federal capital of any country. In same countries, these people are kept way off the roads. Not when people are coming maybe to visit Nigeria, they'll be greeted with beggars, running after them, asking for alms. I think in this 21st century, we should, as much as possible, make sure that such things don't happen any longer.
Don't you think we have beggars as a result of the economic situation, the failure of past governance, and unemployment, rising unemployment level? I don't think beggars are happy to go outside and be begging. And we also, I think most times, erroneously just feel downtrodden people in society. I was listening to the language Olive, the newspaper, was using, that they are criminals, miscreants, one chance. Did you conduct any investigation? It's easy to label them and paint all of them with
just using one brush.
Yeah.
Exactly. Can I say it this way? No matter how rich a country is, the word of God equally says that the poor will always remain with us.
Absolutely.
So, people,
so you always have beggars.
Yeah, you will always have them.
But the
people
influx of these beggars, they seem to be too much.
There are no beggars in Saudi Arabia.
Some of them, there are no beggars in Saudi Arabia, even in Gaddafi's Libya. In Gaddafi's Libya, not this Libya now.
Yes.
Because government take care of those people. No, when government takes care of your need, what's the need to go and beg? But in Nigeria, the government, they are only interested in the next election. They are not interested in the citizens. So what do you expect? When people cannot feed, even in Lagos here, you'll be shocked that when you walk out of the streets, maybe when you want to take public transport, you see somebody coming to you, well-dressed lady or gentleman.
Excuse me.
Corporate begging.
Excuse me.
Real corporate begging.
Excuse me.
Excuse me. Can you spare, and they will mention the amount. Can you spare 500 for my transport? No, it happens.
And when you offer to pay the transport, they say no.
No, they want the cash.
When you say no, let me pay, say come on, get out.
And then you see him eating egg roll.
When they collect it from you, even in churches, they do it in churches. So they collect it from you and go to collect from another person too.
Yes.
Nobody
If I'm Sunday, I'll call you now.
Nobody has ever begged money on the road on this set.
You? No.
No.
You?
Why
They have.
No, I'm asking that. So has nobody on this set ever asked for money before?
Why I'll reach out.
I'll reach out. If I'm stranded, I mean, there's a way I can.
There's nothing like corporate, like please.
No,
and then there's a level to this corporate begging.
Excuse
you
me.
need to complete. Can I have? So you won't feel his pain begging. Can I have 300 just to complete?
For my Let me tell you.
One day I'll tell like
if you say you are stranded now, you will not be telling the whole truth. You are telling us half truth. Because with your phone,
no,
you
I'm
can
talking of
always
like back in the day when there was
back in the days.
That's what I'm asking. Not about recent
those
times
days,
you can call it
see,
friend.
those days, let me share an experience. I was working in a finance company in 1991, 92, yeah, and I was given a check to go and cash my salary. So I went to VI, and my way back, I said, well, since I have this check, let me cash the money. But I got to the bank, and one issue or the other, the check could not be cashed. Okay, the MD made a mistake, he didn't open the check.
Okay, yeah, the signing and opening of.
That was what happened. And I didn't know, because he normally gives us open check, so that if we like, we'll pay it, and if we like, we'll cash it. So on this particular occasion, I think he forgot to open the check. And I didn't look at it. I just gave it over the counter, and they looked at it, they said, no, this is, am I paying in the check? I said, no, I want to cash it. He said, no, the check is not opened. That was when it dawned on me that the check was not open. And the money I had was the one that would take me to VI, because I had the intention that I would collect cash and come back.
Yeah.
So what I did was simple. I went to the bus terminal. I met the bus driver, and I showed him the check. I explained to him what happened. He said, okay, I should enter. That he would tell the conductor. That was how
so it's different from saying, it's a better approach than saying, excuse me. But as we wrap up the show, the weekend is here.
Yeah.
I don't know what your plans are. So maybe we need to see you after the show.
I go to vote.
Okay.
We have elections tomorrow in Lagos, local government elections.
Yes.
That reminds me. Now, why is it that each time we have election in this country, we shut down the country or shut down the state? Now, tomorrow, they are shutting down this state from 3 a.m. to 3 p.m.
They said it's being reviewed, though.
Business is being shut down completely. Everybody is being...
I mean, they will argue for right reasons.
House arrest.
The last time we had elections...
12 hours. You're on house arrest for 12 hours.
But, Prof, won't you agree that it's for good reason?
No.
The last time we had local government elections in Lagos, the voter apathy, the number of people that came out to vote were 11% of registered voters.
It's going to be worse tomorrow if you don't take time.
So they've adjusted the time.
Going to wedding and...
It's from 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. now.
Even at
Not
that.
3 a.m., 6 a.m.
Even at that.
That will concern you guys like
you
Benga
are
that
on
will
house
go to
arrest.
I'm not going to club.
For how many hours?
Please, I'm not going to club. I'm going to disco. It's different.
That's how they know
Discotheque.
which year they gave birth to you.
Yeah.
It's your
Discotheque.
Igbo
It's
generation
different
that
from
plays
club.
discotheque.
And on that note, it's been a fruitful conversation right from the morning up until now. I want to say thank you, Mr. Ona, for being here. Thank you, Professor. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Benga, for being here as well. It's been nice doing this.
Get well soon. I hope to see you at the discotheque.
Even if I get well soon, it's not for disco.
You're not feeling good?
I'm not.
You need to. Though it's the weather. They warned us that July, August, the weather is going to be too cold.
But if I
under the weather.
there's the kind of alert I will receive now.
Okay.
Nigerians don't say I'm not well. You say I'm strong.
Yeah.
I'm strong. She's strong.
Oh, okay.
That's a religious
number
one.
of our team, amazing, Benny. Please, everyone get well soon. We'll see you on Monday.
And happy birthday to
Tunde Raji.
Tunde Raji.
Oh my God.
Yeah.